Fox NFL Sunday is brought to you by Southwest Airlines, proud sponsor of the NFL and official airline of Super Bowl 39.
Eagles, an outstanding first quarter team. They jump on teams, as Bill mentioned, right at the top. And here they are 43 seconds into the game with a 7-0 lead.
2 plays and a touchdown?
Unbelievable.
Andy talked about striking fast and how important it is to take the crowd out of the home team. When you're on the road, the noise, especially in a doghouse like this, can get extremely crazy and really cause a problem for the offensive line and the tackles and what they hear. If you quiet them quick, Andy feels, it takes them out of it. Now you can get back to operating your offense and making checks and audibles at the line of scrimmage.
David Akers kicks off. Andre King, his 3rd return of the season. D. Brown was released earlier this week. Gets up to the 34. Hard hit by Ike Reese, the leader of the special teams coverage teams for the Eagles.
Well, this is Andre Davis. Now, he's responsible for the tight end. He's going to motion across here. But what happens is Donovan McNabb pump fakes this direction. And when he pump fakes, watch. It freezes him just for a second. See him freeze? Now he's looking to the inside, and he loses sight of the tight end. And he gets right by him, and nobody's in the middle of the field at the post.
Browns come out with 2 tight ends, Aaron Shea, Steve Hyden. Dennis Northcutt in motion. Wide receiver Andre Davis is inactive today. Garcia on first down to Aaron Shea. Shea breaks away from Michael Lewis and then gets knocked out of bounds by Sheldon Brown up close to the 40-yard line. Let's check out the Browns on offense. Jeff Garcia had 4 touchdown passes last week in the game against the Cincinnati Bengals. Passed for over 300 yards. Offensive line, Ryan Tucker back after missing 3 games. Kelvin Garmin was shaken up last week. He starts. In the backfield, Terrell Smith is the blocking back. And is he big? And they start out with Lee Suggs going out wide to the right. Quick outside to Suggs, who had over 100 yards, had 100 yards exactly receiving last week. Michael Lewis with a stop, about a yard short of the first down. Eagles on defense, they have 20 sacks, tied for the league lead. Javon Kearse has 3. The linebackers, Jeremiah Trotter starts for the injured Mark Semino, who is out. And the safeties, Michael Lewis and Brian Dawkins. Lito Shepherd had 2 interceptions last week. Jeremiah Trotter, who has played well on special teams. They come up about a half-yard short. The measurement. Tom White is our referee. Trotter, who called Andy Reid and asked to come back to the Eagles after he was let go by the Washington Redskins.
And Andy, he obliged. He said, hey, that's a guy I always liked. And he just kind of went through a humbling experience when you think you're going to go someplace and be the starter and be the big dog, and gets let down and fails. It doesn't really work out for you. He says, I know what the guy can do, and I love how he plays the game.
William Green and Terrell Smith in the backfield with 2 tight ends. They need a half yard for the first down. Green steps up, and it's Smith, the fullback, carrying for a first down.
Yep. Terrell Smith is something else.
His 3rd carry of the season. He doesn't carry much. He didn't carry all of last season with the New Orleans Saints.
The fans identify with this guy because he is as blue-collar as they come. Terrell Smith is exactly what the modern-day athlete is not.
What do you mean by that, Bill?
It's all about doing whatever he possibly can for the team.
William Green finds the nice hole and pulls his way across the 40 to the Eagles' 38-yard line. Strong run for William Green, who had a big game last week with 115 yards rushing.
And Smith, I want you to take a look. Here's Smith here. And watch him get up into the linebackers and make the block. Look at this. Boom, boom. Now, it's there. Now, Green knows to bounce off it. He tells his running back, Suggs and William Smith, he says, follow me, guys. Follow me right into the hole, and if it's not there, that's when you bounce out. But follow me first.
Sam Rayburn and Hollis Thomas are in at the tackles for the Eagles. Andre King went in motion. William Green goes straight ahead and gets Gets about 3 on the play, and that's what the Browns talked about.
Running.
Downhill running attack, straight ahead.
And they have to stick with it. I don't think they can come out of it, Sam. I think they have to stick with this approach, even though Philadelphia scored quickly. I think you got to wear these guys down. And the key to wearing them down is number 42. That's a guy that'll wear you down. Because if you keep hammering them, at some point in the game, your linebackers aren't going to want any more of them.
Steve Hyden lined up in the backfield, shifts to the right tight end position. Now Terrell Smith shifts. On the fake, rolling is Garcia. Chased by Javon Kearse, pulls him down. A sack, number 4 for Javon Kearse this season. Let's see JB what he has with an update. JB, go ahead.
Hey, Sam, Detroit rookie Roy Williams supposed to be only 75% healthy because of that ankle. Hey, this double move says he's okay here. An 18-yard haul in, his 5th touchdown reception of the season. Detroit up 7-0 on the Giants. Back to Sam, Bill, and Jay.
Giants coming off a bye week.
And that's one area of the field of the play calling that they've actually put into the fold for Jeff Garcia. And that's the rollout plays, because that's actually where Jeff Garcia is best. Outside the pocket.
There's a timeout for the Browns. They were set up on a 3rd and long. The play clock running down. They call a timeout. The Eagles have the early lead. The Browns trying to sustain a drive.
Leon, free agent year, trade rumors. What's next for you?
Well, actually, Joe, I'm contemplating a career in broadcasting.
Really? Since when?
Since I saw your catering card. I see you working with the roast beef. You got your baby quiche.
Glad you like it.
I do.
Let's get back to the trade rumors.
So this is what you do, man? You just sit up here all day, eat sandwiches, watch the game, and repeat what you see into that microphone?
No, it's a bit more complicated.
How much they pay you for this gig? Go and tell me. Oh, forget about it then.
Dude, what do you got in that thing?
I got an amp, guitar, surfboard, ladder, and 12 2x4s.
Velocity meets versatility. The all-new Hemi-powered Dodge Magnum. Open it up from either end.
If you do your best thinking in the shower, imagine how smart you'll get under the new shower heads at Holiday Inn Express.
Proving that my client is innocent.
Case dismissed.
5.
Next.
I'd like to pen the dog talker.
Nice hair.
Holy crap. Deficit's gone, Mr. President. Terrific. Which accounting firm are you with?
Oh, I'm not an accountant.
But I did stay at a Holiday Inn Express last night.
Stay smart. Stay at a Holiday Inn Express.
It's the Best Damn Sports Show's Fall Spectacular. 60 days of sports television like you've never seen before. Weeknights only on FSN. Fox NFL Sunday is brought to you by Budweiser. Grab a cold, fresh Budweiser. It's game time.
Cleveland Browns are well below the league average on 3rd down conversions. They have to get just inside the 29. That's Antonio Bryant. Joined the team Tuesday in a trade for Quincy Morgan. Garcia scrambling, looking, throwing on the run. And the pass is complete for a first down to Aaron Shea, the tight end. What a grab. Aaron Shea, who missed a lot of last season with a shoulder injury, has done a good job. And there's Garcia making things happen with a scramble.
The one thing, you know he's going to hear Shea. The ball's actually thrown behind him a little bit, but he does a great job of staying after that thing. As on the ground, he was battling for it. And you can't let Jeff Garcia get out of the pocket to his right. He is absolutely deadly when he does that.
First down at the 28, the toss to Suggs, led by Smith. Big hole down the sideline. Sheldon Brown pulls it out of bounds at the 11-yard line.
Don't.
Smith and Green. Nice combination for Cleveland.
He is absolutely beautiful. He says he molded his game after the true fullbacks, Sam Gash and Lorenzo Neal, and he just takes pride in blowing somebody up. He said who he really likes to go after is the first rounders, Sam. He says, when I have to block somebody, I look up the first rounders because I want to take them off their cleats, right out of the ground and get into them. He got into Michael Lewis right there and sprung that whole thing open.
That was Lee Suggs on the carry. William Green in the backfield now as they rotate their backs. Here's Green taking it big hole, aiming for the corner. Touchdown! First rushing touchdown of the season for William Green, the Browns' third. 11-yard run. And the ground game set it up for Cleveland.
And they stuck with it. They didn't panic. They didn't get out of it. Key third down completion made possible by the scrambling of Jeff Garcia to keep the play alive.
Extra point by Phil Dawson is good. Butch Davis says it's hard to ride two horses at the same time, but Green and Suggs doing a good job.
Nate Wayne pushed to the ground. Hole sprung open. Touchdown Browns. They're back in it, Sam.
Visa, proud sponsor of the NFL, presents defensive lineman Brenton Buckner, who gets ready for the game with his Visa card and a lot of lip balm. In a remarkable pregame ritual, Brenton kisses his cleats once for every beloved member of his family. His son, Brandon. His mother, Thelma. His wife, Denise. Not his father-in-law, Thomas. He's a Browns fan. He's got his Visa. He's got his lip balm. He's ready.
I got a lot of names.
Visa, get ready for the game.
For the first time ever on 2-disc Disney DVD, Mulan Special Edition, A Story of Honor. Courage.
Somehow I'll make a man out of you.
And being true to yourself. It's the must-own DVD that legends are made of.
Let's get this show on the road!
Disney's Mulan Special Edition, new on 2-disc DVD this Tuesday.
These people are getting answers to the most important questions they'll ever ask. Questions about their health. They're finding those answers in a single place. WebMD. 20 million people come to WebMD every month. They find vital information that used to be scattered in 100 locations, now all in one place. The place America comes for healthcare answers. A place called WebMD.
In the last election, single women were the largest demographic not to show up to the polls. This is the first time I'm voting. It's important to use your voice. Don't let somebody else speak for you. Create your own world. Let's go, ladies.
The respective coaches, Andy Reid on the left, Butch Davis on the right. Andy Reid scoring quickly. Butch Davis feeling his offense is starting to create some drives last couple of weeks.
And they've got to stay patient. They've got to keep their game on the ground, Sam. The birds may soar, but groundhogs don't get sucked into jet engines. Remember that.
Phil Dawson kicks off. J.R. Reed waits for it at the 6. Reed cuts it and then slipped and went to the ground, and the Eagles take him down at about the 28-yard line. There was an opening, but Reed slipped. Last night in Boston, Game 1 of the World Series. What a wild one. Red Sox got up early, 7-2. David Ortiz, the big home run. But the Cardinals came back, helped by errors and some timely hits. It was 9-9 after this play by Manny Ramirez, who made 2 errors in the game. But then it was Mark Bellhorn in the bottom of the 8th. 2-run homer off the foul pole. Red Sox win Game 1 11-9. Game 2 tonight right here on Fox, beginning at 7:30. Matt Morris and Curt Schilling go at it. Brian Westbrook and Josh Perry in the backfield for the Eagles. It's Westbrook. Little dancing in the hole. Gets up across the 30 to the 31. Andre Davis, the middle linebacker. The Browns have 2 Andre Davises, one a wide receiver who is out with a foot injury today.
Just spelled different, right? The first name. That's all. You know, this is something that Andy really doesn't like to get into. That I formation, power run game come at you. I mean, self-admitted, he'll tell you, I can't stand running the football. And that's rare to hear from a head coach who is an offensive lineman.
There's Westbrook taking it around the right side. Good lead block from L.J. Smith. Westbrook out of bounds at the 42-yard line. But when you got a guy like Westbrook, you can run it pretty well.
You know, I don't think they actually knew what they had when they drafted him. They knew he was good. They saw him at Villanova. But you always have questions when you're drafting, you know, a 1AA school or Division II school. You're just not quite sure. And given his size at 5'10", you think about durability all the time. But Andy has found that the more you give the guy the ball, the more it's in his hands when he's running, the more it's in his hands when he's passing, the better he is and the better he becomes.
Picked up 11 on the last carry. First down, Eagles at the 42. L.J. Smith went in motion. McNabb waits, throws short to Terrell Owens. Owens turns it into a nice gain inside the Browns 40, out of bounds at the 39, and Terrell Owens has now caught a pass in 121 consecutive games.
Well, they find different ways to get him the ball. Whether he's isolated outside, whether he's going deep, they read the coverages. That time it was man-to-man downfield. And the other receivers took their defenders deep. And then you have T.O. coming underneath. What you do in game planning different teams is you study their primary coverages. Then Andy goes about and finds plays for Owens, Westbrook, and L.J. Smith.
3 wide receivers in, everybody goes out. McNabb gets time, waits, throwing deep downfield, touchdown! They did it again, Terrell Owens with his 7th touchdown of the game. Ooh. That's not much of a celebration as he goes after the Browns fans, throwing the ball against the wall.
Well, it was
39-yard touchdown pass.
It was the sign that says
T.O.
has B.O.
Well,
and he threw the ball right into that.
Well, T.O. has T.D., his 7th touchdown reception of the season.
I don't know if you want to rile these fans up here.
I agree with you. You know them better than a lot of people. David Akers for the extra point. Right back on top, lead at 14-7. Donovan McNabb has thrown 2 touchdown passes already, giving him 98 in his career.
Well, the thing about it is great pass protection by the offensive line. Donovan McNabb never has to move. Then it's man-to-man coverage, and it's Anthony Henry versus Terrell Owens in the end zone. Owens comes up big.
Can inspiration make the simple act of driving around extraordinary? Yes. Can substance and style blend seamlessly together? Clearly. And can the car of your dreams be an affordable reality? Absolutely. The 150-mile-per-hour performance-tested Chrysler Crossfire. Lease one for only $299 a month if you're a well-qualified lessee. Chrysler. Inspiration comes standard.
7 years ago, Bristol-Myers Squibb medicines literally saved my life. I simply wouldn't be here without them. Today, Bristol-Myers Squibb researchers are focused on our most serious diseases with revolutionary treatments for cancer and AIDS. These researchers dedicate their lives to fighting our most serious diseases. And these medicines can make the difference for millions of us. I'm living proof of that. Hope, triumph, and the miracle of medicine. Bristol-Myers Squibb Company.
To illustrate Singular's amazing deal, let's say this man is 1,000 minutes and this box is $39.99. 1,000 minutes in this tiny, tiny $39.99 box. Amazing, huh? Oh, and you get rollover.
Get Singular's best value ever. 1,000 nationwide anytime minutes with rollover for just $39.99. And get a great deal on this new Motorola camera phone.
I call it my everyone should get one plan.
Our best value ever, only from Singular Wireless.
Fox NFL Sundays, brought to you by Dodge. You can take life as it comes, or you can grab life by the horns. Dodge. By Singular Wireless. By Holiday Inn Express. Stay smart. And by WebMD. Redefining modern medicine.
Some of the guitars that Bill Moss has donated to the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. 88 career touchdown catches for Terrell Owens. He's now tied for 6th all-time in the NFL with Don Maynard.
I only got air guitars.
Oh. Andre King from the 9, led by Frisman Jackson. Gets up to the 30-yard line where he's taken down.
You know what that first pass touchdown to Pinkston did? Now it makes your safety. You're playing man free underneath here. See this is man with a free safety. Well, he looks in at Pinkston and he jumps it. See, look, he jumps Pinkston right here. See him step in? You can never let T.O. get behind you. Never as a free safety let T.O. get behind you. That's Earl Little there.
William Green and Terrell Smith in the backfield as the Browns start from the 30-yard line. Green on the delay, finds an opening. Another good run for William Green. First down up the 42. Wow. Green off to a terrific start for the Browns. 12-yard pickup. Michael Lewis made the stop. Wow. William Green, 4 carries, 43 yards.
Well, normally they follow the fullback. They follow Smith. But watch Smith come up here. He takes it. When he sees that, he cuts it all the way backside where the center and the backside guard have the defensive line and the nose sealed.
Browns with 3 wide receivers. Antonio Bryant is in. Dennis Northcutt in motion. The toss to Lee Suggs. Turns the corner. Suggs running well. He's out of bounds. Lito Shepherd chased him out in Eagles territory. First down at the 46.
Well, when you look at this Eagles defense, look at what you think there. You're thinking Javon Curse outside, and on the other side, of course, you're thinking Burgess over there, and they're smaller guys. And you're thinking maybe you can hit the perimeter on these guys, but you're not quite sure because of the speed they have with their defense if you want to make that the emphasis. Every time they've gone to the outside, they've gotten the perimeter blocked and had success there.
Suggs 2 carries, 29 yards. Andre King in motion. Blitz coming. They pick it up. Straight ahead, William Green. Got maybe a yard on the play. Michael Lewis, the leading tackler on the Eagles, made the stop.
You know, one of the things with Cimino out and Trotter in, Trotter's almost 270 pounds. When you have that kind of Mike linebacker, you're going to keep him up around the line of scrimmage. So you're going to make a guard commit to him. But what that does is it freezes the guard, and it doesn't let the guard get up on top to the backers to the strong safety. With bringing in Trotter like that to occupy the other linemen, you can see the freedom it gives the strong safety and other linebackers to make
2 tight ends in. Garcia, quick toss complete to Andre King down to the 40-yard line. Flag on the play. We'll check it out. First flag of the game. Eagles, one of the better teams, least penalized teams.
Formation, number 77, offense, the 5-yard penalty remains. Second down.
That's on Ross Verba, the left tackle.
No, it's not.
What? Who's it on?
Well, it's on one of the receivers.
Somebody wasn't on the line?
Yeah,
okay.
they always call it on the tackle. And see, the tackle lines up in the same position all the time. But when the end man on the line of scrimmage is not a receiver, which it has to be covered up. Oh, King just went down to the ground.
Andre King just fell down.
He came out of the huddle. He came out of the huddle and ran to the line of scrimmage and just dropped. Now, I don't know if that cramp would do that to you or
right leg injury. And the trainers quickly on the field.
They can't afford another loss at wide receiver.
They are short on wide receiver. Andre Davis is out inactive with a foot sprain. Did not practice all week. They brought up Frisman Jackson from the practice squad. They're short in wide receivers.
Kodiak 450 automatic 4x4 from Yamaha.
Now get a $400 Warn winch for just $69.95 on select models.
Now every Wendy's kids meal comes with new choices. Choose mandarin oranges or fries. You can also choose cold, refreshing, low-fat chocolate milk or reduced-fat white milk instead of a soft drink. Wendy's kids meals, now with new choices that make everyone happy.
White Chicks on DVD Tuesday. These chicks
I think you were flirting with me.
know how to party.
Sorry. They're new.
From the director of Scary Movie. White Chicks on DVD.
You want some of this? I'll take the both of you.
Because leaders are not born, they are made. And they're made just like everything else is made in this country. They're made by a hard effort.
Medical staff working on Andre King's left ankle, and the play before, he may have hurt it here, Bill.
Well, you can see after the play's over, he gets up and kind of grabs his left leg. Gets twisted up here, and as he's getting up, see him grabbing it.
Brisbane Jackson replaces him. In motion, Lee Suggs. Garcia, pressured, hit as he throws. Deep downfield, intercepted by Lito Shepherd. And he was down. He was touched down at the 4-yard line. Lito Shepherd, who had 2 interceptions last week, with the pick here, his 3rd of the season. Dhani Jones with the hit on Garcia.
Well, here's Dhani Jones right over here. And this is going to be a hesitation upfield, and watch him come back underneath. See that? It's like a stunt between the end and the outside linebacker, and the ball doesn't have enough air underneath it. Interception, Eagle.
You guys on the road a lot? Yeah. Send your wives pictures with Sprint PCS Vision picture phones. Show them you're working hard. Show them your pretty face. Show them that prize bull. Check it out.
More people use Sprint PCS Vision picture phones than any other to easily share unlimited pictures. Now at Sprint stores, buy one starting at $29.99.
Just point and shoot.
We know how to do that.
Sprint PCS. Now that's better.
Special delivery, ladies.
Well, look who's here.
Got your fresh beer right here.
What do you got?
I got intentional taste mask. All American brewed beers are fresh. This guy's hiding something.
Illegal use of the hand truck. Distributing beer with less taste.
Place it with Miller Lite.
More taste.
Half the carbs.
You can't flag the king.
Right.
Okay, we got multiple penalties on Dan. Intentional
Miller.
face mask.
Good call.
Illegal use of the hand truck.
To be absolutely sure, I'm getting the lowest prices on electronics. I feel like I need a sign from above. That'll work.
I guess you're just what I need. That's what I need.
At Circuit City, you'll find unbeatable prices guaranteed every day. So you can always leave confident knowing you got the best price.
You're just what I needed.
Circuit City.
Doubleheader day in the NFL on Fox, and some of you will see, most of you will see the Cowboys at the Packers. Some will see Seattle at Arizona, New Orleans on the road as well. And there goes Andre King, not a good sign as he is carted into the locker room for x-rays. Lito Shepherd, who is really developing into a superb cornerback, Bill, as they went young at the corners.
Oh, yeah.
The Eagles.
I mean, that's vision, and that's how the Eagles have handled everything they've done since Andy Reid's been there. Always planning for the future so that it's not all for today and then nothing tomorrow. And these guys have just played tremendous football. 2 excellent cover guys in Lito Shepherd and Sheldon Brown.
Dorsey Levens in at running back for the Eagles. Michael Myers at defensive tackle for the Browns. McNabb throwing, completing to Chad Lewis, the tight end, up to the 10-yard line. Giants trying to come back against the Lions. What's happening, JB?
Hey, Sam, they're doing it with Tiki Barber, the NFL's leader in total yards from scrimmage. Take a look here, hooking up on this pass play. Tiki carrying the ball just like Jimmy Johnson described during the pregame show. May look odd, but effective. Giants have knotted it up. 10 seconds left in the first quarter at 7. Back to Sam, Bill, and Jay.
Seems as if Tiki Barber breaks a big one every week, Bill. Crowd making a lot of noise as the Eagles come out on second down with 2 tight ends. Off the play fake, the roll, and the quick dump off to the fullback. Josh Berry, his first reception in the NFL. He dropped 2 passes last week. He holds on here. And Perry gets up to the 18-yard line for a first down.
Now that's the old bootleg play. They fake the handoff, and it appears that it's a running play. It's all going to the left. And the whole defense rushes over there, and then you peel the left tight end, and you bring him across the grain, and the fullback goes the other way as well. So you have the fullback underneath, and then the tight end up top. McNabb found the fullback.
Hands to Westbrook. Big crowd at the corner. And gets up to about the 23. Picked up about 5 on the play. Ebenezer Ecubon making the tackle for Cleveland.
Look at the difference here. Cleveland, 7.0 a play.
Which is pretty good.
Yeah, heck yeah, it's good. You wouldn't mind that at all. But when you get those 2 big bombs by Philadelphia.
Now the Eagles moving offensively with Westbrook and Perry in the backfield. On second down, flags fly. False start against the Eagles.
I think Trey Thomas moved a little bit.
False start. Number 77, offense. It's a 5-yard penalty. Remains second down.
The man right next to Trey Thomas. Big artist Hicks.
When you get that much wiggle or wobbling, you know what I mean? It's hard to tell. And Hicks and Trey Thomas together, side by side, there's an awful lot of wiggle there to wobble.
2 tight ends in. Ryan Westbrook in the backfield. Second and 10 for the Eagles. McNabb has started the game 6 for 6. He waits. He finally throws, connects with Chad Lewis. First down, Eagles at the 34. And what a start for Donovan McNabb. He's completed his first 7 passes of the game.
Well, you can't allow these Eagle receivers, L.J. Smith, Chad Lewis, T.O., Todd Pinkston, that much time downfield. So to take that away, you've got to get to him. Look at the sack clock, and look how much time McNabb has to sit in the pocket and be comfortable. You have got to get on top of the quarterback as a rusher within 3 seconds.
On first down, Westbrook. And the Browns are there. Andre Davis and Warwick Holdman combine to drop Ryan Westbrook for a loss of a couple at the 32-yard line.
And to contribute to it, like why that's working, why McNabb has so much time, I think I've seen it for the better part of this year when I look at the Eagles. That offensive line's been together, and they're playing exceptionally well. And they all know what each other's doing. McNabb knows their strengths and weaknesses, where they're going to be, and he knows how to scramble off of each of them to buy time. And when he does scramble this year, he scrambles to throw.
Westbrook gets back up to the 35-yard line where he is stopped. Find out what's going on down to the sideline. Jay Glazer, what do you got?
Well, you guys have been pumping up Donovan McNabb and his accuracy. This offseason, McNabb decided to go use a trainer who works with baseball pitchers, guys like Curt Schilling, to stretch out his rotator cuff. He said he's really seen a difference, not on his deep ball, but in making some other throws. Also, Donovan does some weird things in the offseason. He actually works out with the dog toys. Calm down, Billy. Dog toys. He takes those little balls with the little nubs on them, and he throws them against the wall to try and work on his eye-hand coordination. Back up to you guys.
Crowd loud. Eagles with 3 wide receivers on 3rd and 9. The play fake by McNabb. Again, plenty of time to Westbrook. Short of the first down. Eagles with a good stop. Dalen McCutcheon, the cornerback, with a good tackle on Brian Westbrook. So we'll have the first punt of the game as the Browns come up with a good stop.
You know, Terry Bradshaw asked me during the pregame show, he said, you know, how can this offense get better? And there's a lot of things that Donovan doesn't see sometimes, and it wears on him. As good as he's been playing, and Jay is right, he's a much more accurate passer this year, and I guess that's what contributed to the stretching and the dog bones. But he had Freddie Mitchell open on that play, and he didn't see him.
Dirk Johnson's punt bounces down on the 26 and goes out of bounds at the 26-yard line. The Philadelphia Eagles, one of 3 undefeated teams in the NFL, and little things mean a lot, Bill. They do a lot of little things.
Well, watch. When you down the ball, look at all the guys running through the end zone. They could have quit, but And then they encourage each other, right? And this team really enjoys each other. And then when anything goes wrong, they're aware. They're well-drilled, they execute great, and it's hustle, too. That this team hustles each and everybody. And when you have that kind of chemistry, Sam, on your team, it's fun, and you want to compete, and you're aware of all the little things, and you can't wait to take care of all the little things because you're looking to find your place amongst your teammates.
I think that next step after being to 3 consecutive NFC Championship games. The Browns on first down. Steve Hyden, the tight end, up to the 35-yard line.
You know, 2 guys that have jumped out to me when you look at this Cleveland Brown team have been their tight ends.
Hyden and Shea?
Oh, yeah. Steve Hyden, 82, and Aaron Shea, 83. They were just kind of guys. And then you bring Kellen Winslow into the mix, and Kellen, they're going to build the offense around him. And he's going to be that star tight end that can stretch the seam, get downfield, block, and use his speed. But these 2 guys, in the absence of Kellen Winslow, have been outstanding.
Eagles lead at the end of the first quarter. They've led in the 21 consecutive quarters this season.
SBC, going beyond the call.
You're watching the NFL on Fox.
They're misleading Americans about what I said. I will never cede America's security to any institution or to any other country. No one gets a veto over our security. No one. I will never take my eye off Osama bin Laden, Al-Qaeda, and the terror in Afghanistan. We're going to hunt down the terrorists. We will kill them. We'll do what's ever necessary to protect America.
I'm John Kerry, and I approve this message.
The new Jeep Liberty Renegade. With Command Track 4-wheel drive, a 3.7-liter PowerTech V6 engine, and Jeep Trail-rated capability, it never backs down from a challenge. Get $1,000 in October bonus cash for a combined cash allowance of $2,000 on one of America's hottest 4x4s. Ends November 1st.
Who can stop them? Who can calm them?
Don't hit me!
Parents of America, help is on the way.
I am trying to show you a better way to do this.
Nanny 911, Wednesday, November 3rd on Fox.
Sam Rosen, Bill Moss, Jay Glazer in Cleveland, where the Philadelphia Eagles lead the Browns 14-7. Remarkable phenomenon. At the end of every quarter they played this season, the Eagles have had the lead.
It is a remarkable phenomenon, and it caused teams to kind of open up their offense a little bit, and it's allowed the defense of the Eagles to tee off on the quarterback.
Lee Suggs gets a couple of yards on the play. First quarter, rushing. The Browns have done what you said, Bill. They have stuck with the running game, done a good job with it. Passing, look at that 163 yards for Philadelphia.
You can see the difference amongst where they're getting the yards, opposite ends of the spectrum for both teams. But for Cleveland, they have to stay with controlling the clock and pounding the Eagles and scoring at the end of the drives.
Brisbane Jackson and Dennis Northcutt for wide receivers for Cleveland. Lee Suggs cuts it back nicely, slipped the tackle, and turns it into a great gain down to the 46 of Philadelphia before Brian Dawkins made the stop. Another first down for the Browns. 15-yard pickup for Suggs.
Philly's got to stop this problem, or else this is going to be something that gets them all year. No matter whether they win or not, at some point in time, you're going to run across a team that can score with you. And until they fix this running problem, they're giving up. Heck, they've got to be close to 10 yards a carry giving up right now. It seems like every time they rush the ball, they're picking up a first down.
Hugh Douglas in at defensive end, replacing Javon Curse for the Eagles. Terrell Smith shifts. The play fake. Garcia off the deep drop. Finds the tight end, Steve Hyden. He dives for a first down, and he's got it. Good effort by the tight end, Steve Hyden.
You know, the one
Wayne with the stop on Hayden. Go ahead, Bill.
The one thing about Jeff Garcia is when he does bootleg and get out of the pocket, these rolls, see, most quarterbacks only throw this side of the field. Garcia can throw the whole entire field. He's got great peripheral vision when he gets out on the move and can see everything. Most quarterbacks, when they roll one way, they're only throwing to that half of the field. That time he threw back across to the other side.
Garcia 5 for 6. 39 yards, rolls, looking, and throwing. And he completes it to Dennis Northcutt. Down at the 25-yard line. Another Browns first down. Lito Shepherd made the stop.
Rolls, rolls, rolls. And that's not in Royce either. That's in Jeff Garcia. And Jeff Garcia, for whatever reason, he's not a pocket passer. And early on, that's primarily what Cleveland tried to make him. But his success in San Francisco was outside the pocket. And his success as a quarterback comes outside the pocket. He has a higher percentage of completion throughout his career outside the pocket on rolls than he does in the pocket.
Two tight ends in, blitz coming, it's picked up. William Green cuts it outside. Flag on the play. Green inside the 15, pulled out of bounds at the 13. We'll check on the flag. Holding
Number
against
63,
the Browns.
offense. The 10-yard penalty remains. First down.
It's on Kelvin Garmin, negates a good run. The grab on Trotter, and he didn't let go of the jersey, and finally the umpire threw the flag. You're shaking your head. 5 defensive backs in for the Eagles. As the Browns set up on first down and 20. Lee Suggs fights his way down to the 31-yard line.
Jeff Garcia, when you look at him, you think of him in San Francisco and even in Cleveland in the last couple of weeks. His big plays come from outside. So when you have a guy that can throw the ball on the run, with the accuracy he throws the ball on the run with, you use it. And think back to San Francisco. You think about all the times he was on the move. Well, when you got a guy that's good at that, you put that into your system. And that's what the Browns have done with him in the last few weeks, have developed the roles in their system.
With 3 wide receivers in, the ball was tipped off the hands of one receiver, Dennis Northcutt, and just missed by Aaron Shea, the tight end. As he dove for it, it'll bring up a 3rd and long. Browns have to get to the 15-yard line of the Eagles. Aaron Shea, 5th-year man out of Michigan. And he and Steve Hayden have done a good job, as Bill mentioned right at the top. Kellen Winslow was big in the offensive plans. 3rd down, red zone. He was going to be a key man in the Browns offense. Went down with the injury and done for the season. 3 wide receivers in. Garcia completes to Antonio Bryant, and he's down to the 20-yard line. His first catch as a member of the Cleveland Browns. He caught 8 passes for over 100 yards opening day as a member of the Dallas Cowboys in Minnesota. We did that game, had a terrific game, but fell out of favor in Dallas with a very talented wide receiver.
Well, they're only going to use him a handful of plays here. Well, maybe some more now that the injury has occurred to Andre King, but he just got here. And Butch has probably about 15 plays in for him, maybe. And it's plays like that. If they get some matchups on him, he has some great athletic ability at the speed and as a jumper.
Phil Dawson, 38-yarder. It's good. He is 14 for 14 this season. He has hit 24 in a row, a Cleveland Browns franchise record. Dawson, perfect from 38. That cuts into the Eagles' lead at 14-10.
Come on!
The Silverado half-ton crew comes standard with more muscle than Ford, Dodge, or Toyota. That's why it's the right truck. The official truck of an American revolution.
Yeah, my brother-in-law, he's always inviting me over to watch his big, fancy TV.
And you hate him for it. So you want something bigger and better for a lot less money.
Yeah.
At Circuit City, we have all the hottest new TVs, from HD TV to plasma, LCD, and more. And with unbeatable prices guaranteed, you'll find the perfect one. Circuit City.
Fox NFL Sunday is brought to you by the new Chevrolets. 10 new cars and trucks in 20 months, an American revolution. By ArcaX, the world's largest fully electronic stock exchange. By Miller, there's good enough and there's better than it has to be. Miller, good call. And by Circuit City. For the hottest new technology, think Circuit City, just what I needed.
You're watching Fox Sports, broadcasting in the world's finest high-definition standard. Good ball game here in Cleveland. Phil Dawson's field goal, cutting into the Eagles' lead. J.R. Reed is deep. And the Eagles able to swarm. Chris Crocker diving in for the tackle, takes him down at the 30-yard line. What do you think he's thinking about right now?
I think this is a huge series for the Eagles, and I don't know if they know it or not. They need to score again because you can't put that defense out there with the way they're giving up the yards.
I've got incomplete beer on Edward. Attempting to rock with a beer that has less flavor. Replacing with genuine flavor, cold, filtered, smooth, Miller Genuine Draft. Whoa! I've also got unnecessary spandex on Edward. Too much information. Rockstar status, decline. Play beer.
Miller, good call.
Guys?
No way.
Yeah, I got us on the Verizon Wireless Family Share Plan so we can talk to each other as much as we want.
And it's got in, so you can talk to your friends all you want to.
Really awesome.
Okay, group hug. Okay.
Sign up for the Family Share Plan, and now the whole family can make unlimited in-calls to each other and any other Verizon Wireless customer from the America's Choice coverage area. Plus, buy one Samsung A650 for $29.99 and get one free.
Give me a call.
Verizon Wireless, we never stop working for you.
Despite genetic similarities, siblings often harbor tension between each other. This can result in provocation against the older counterpart. But these are merely attempts to discover his place in the family. Cobalt, the new commotion, coming to the Chevy family.
Fox tomorrow. The new season of The Swan premieres with the most compelling stories ever. A deaf woman gets the chance of a lifetime.
I want my dream to come true.
Doctors will help heal a burn victim. And for one woman, The Swan comes just in time.
It's cancer. We will get it.
The Swan. Season premiere at 8/7 Central tomorrow on Fox.
Wilma and Sam McNabb, Donovan's parents, celebrating their 33rd wedding anniversary, watching their son play today. Wilma, of course, star of the family. She makes everyone shut up when the Campbell Soup commercial comes on, like they haven't seen it 1,000 times. Donovan McNabb, 8 for 8, 163 yards, 2 touchdowns as the Eagles start from the 29. Off the play fake. McNabb up top for Todd Pinkston, and it's knocked down by Dalen McCutcheon. Good one-on-one coverage. Let's check out what's happening with Atlanta at Kansas City. JB?
Hey, Sam, take a look at Kansas City running back. No, not Priest Holmes, and no, not Larry Johnson, but Derek Blaylock, 7 yards to pay dirt. Kansas City with 81 yards on the ground against the league's #1 rush defense and up 14-3. That in the first. Back to Sam Rosen.
Kansas City, tough start, 1-4. Atlanta's 5-1, but struggling thus far. 2nd and 10. First incompletion thrown by Donovan McNabb in the game. He sets, he has time, went short too high. Wanted to go to Reno Mahe out of the backfield, but it was too high.
And I go back and say I think this is a critical series for the Eagles. The way the defense has given up those yards on the ground, probably averaging around 9 yards a carry the Browns are. I mean, just gashing the defense. I think the Philadelphia Eagles need to score here. I think this third down is huge. I think they need to pick up a first down. They need to score on this drive. Or if they don't, they're putting that defense right back out on the field with pretty good field position if they have to punt from here.
3 wide receivers in for the Eagles. McNabb goes out of the shotgun. Owens in motion. McNabb steps up, throws, and it's caught by Greg Lewis for a first down in Browns territory at the 47-yard line. Greg Lewis, who has great speed and great hands, went up and made an excellent catch for the first down.
Well, first things first, look at the time in the pocket. Donovan McNabb has all day. And look at the passing lane in front of him. And a perfect throw. We talked about the accuracy, the report by Jay Glazer. He hits Greg Lewis in stride, in between with a defender underneath him and one over the top, and puts that ball perfect.
Here come the Eagles again. 24-yard pickup. The play fake. McNabb. Pressured, rolls, looking downfield. Throws short to Chad Lewis, his 4th catch of the game, and he's out of bounds at the 45-yard line. Picked up 2 on the play.
And look at Donovan McNabb, and tell me he's not different. Watch him. 2 years ago, he would have taken this ball, pulled it down, and been gone. But now he stays. He scrambles to throw. And I think it's because he has a lot more faith and confidence in his wide receivers and all his receivers, his tight ends, with Chad Lewis and with L.J. Smith and with Bryant Westbrook. I think he knows, hey, they're the playmakers. Just let me buy them some time to get open. I'll get them the ball.
Draw play to Westbrook, and he's brought down. No gain on the play.
And a flag.
Late flag. The middle linebacker, Andre Davis, made a good play.
Yeah, I think somebody may piled on there later. Face mask or some extracurricular activity, Sam, after the stop.
Isn't there always?
Well, yeah, but, you got to get it down when there's a pile going. You can't do it when you're still standing up and pushing each other around.
What a great day on Fox. Doubleheader game follows this one. Most of you will see Dallas at Green Bay and then the World Series.
Number 54, 5-yard penalty, remains 2nd down.
Tom White, our referee today.
Face mask.
Incidental.
Puts the ball on the 40-yard line. 3 wide receivers as Freddie Mitchell comes in.
See, a 5-yard face mask is, I really didn't mean to get a face mask. I just kind of tugged it for a second.
Accidental grab.
Yeah.
Chris Crocker, who got a game ball for his play as a nickel defensive back last week, is in for the Browns. McNabb going deep. He's got his man. Touchdown! Terrell Owens does it again. 3rd touchdown pass for McNabb. 2nd touchdown grab for Owens. And you were right, Bill.
Flags. Flags.
Well, that'll be on T.O. probably for taunting, I would think.
Yeah. Well, when you gamble with T.O. and go man-to-man coverage, and that's what the Browns have been doing. They've been gambling a little bit. Anthony Henry has played T.O. well before. When he was against San Francisco last year against the Browns, he kept him out of the end zone. And so they felt comfortable going in there, maybe with a man.
Number 81 in Philadelphia. The 15-yard penalty will be enforced on the kickoff.
Unsportsmanlike conduct. Again, after the touchdown pass.
Come on.
Does that surprise you?
No, not at all. I think they're ganging up on him, Sam. It's a crime what they're doing. I don't know. They just pick on him. So leave the man alone, Sam.
He loves the attention.
No, you think?
David Akers. It's through. Donovan McNabb now has 89 touchdown passes. That's 89 touchdown receptions for Terrell Owens.
There's the good T.O. And
watch this.
That's the bad T.O.
Oh. He's a beauty.
I'm looking for someone who can do just about everything.
That's me.
Can you make color copies? Collate and bind my presentation?
Sure can.
Sign for deliveries?
Can do.
Pick up my dog at the groomer?
No.
Handle all my packing and shipping?
Worldwide.
Well, Kim, when can you start?
How about right now?
The UPS Store, helping your small business in more ways than you thought. Get it done. Get it done right at the UPS Store.
Blue skies smiling at me, nothing but blue skies do I see.
HP Services and Technology help the world's great companies face, manage, and love change. HP. Invent.
ArcaX, the world's largest fully electronic stock exchange.
Today's game on Fox is brought to you by UPS. What can Brown do for you?
Back in Cleveland here, Jay Glazer, and we just saw Terrell Owens get flagged for unsportsmanlike conduct for tearing down a side. But when he came to the sideline, guys, Andy Reid stopped him, made him turn around, and showed him that he was going to get a penalty for that. You know, there's more signs down here about Terrell Owens than there probably is about the Cleveland Browns. Back to you guys.
You're right about that. Sets the Eagles back to the 15 where they'll kick off.
And he knows where each and every one of those signs are, too,
right.
Obviously.
2 touchdown receptions today, giving him 89 for his career. He is alone in 6th place all time. James Jackson on the return, his first kickoff return of the season. And the ball popped loose up at the 44-yard line. Uh-oh.
See, that's where the business happens. The business is going on right now.
A lot of business going on.
The proverbial business.
Ike Reese is involved. He's the leader of the coverage units.
Somebody's down there giving the business right now. White ball.
White ball belongs to the Eagles. They've recovered. Second turnover of the game. Andre King went out with the ankle injury. James Jackson with his first kickoff return of the season.
Watch 46 get the strip. Quentin Mitchell. Nickel. I'm sorry.
Roderick Hood on the recovery. And the pile up. James Jackson wanted to look at the replay. This is the 15th time this
Robin
season.
Hood.
Robin Hood?
Yeah, it's Robin Hood.
15th time the Eagles are starting a drive in opponent's territory, most in the NFL.
And he has a band of merry men on the coverage units.
Play fake. McNabb with time. Finds his fullback, Josh Perry. Tripped up. Last week he dropped 2. This week he's caught 2. His first 2 touches in the NFL. 14-yard pickup. T.O., where's my helmet?
I'll be right back.
I have to tell you, you talk to Donovan McNabb, you talk to the players, you talk to the coaches. They really liked having him around. He and McNabb get along very well.
Hey, it's not good for some people. You know, it's all about personalities. But this bunch of guys in the Philadelphia Eagles and their coaching staff, they said they are having a blast each and every day of practice.
McNabb waits, now he runs and drops it off. The Dorsey Levens. Levens inside the 20. Is down at the 19-yard line. Andre Davis made the stop, and the Eagles pushing for more. They have averaged better than 27 points per game this season. They have 21 today. And looking to add more. 12-yard pickup on the last play. Brian Westbrook back in. First down, Eagles. Just short of the 18-yard line. Westbrook splits out wide left. 3 wide receivers in. Empty backfield.
You got it. Empty.
Westbrook motions, takes the handoff. Cuts up and actually fell over his own man, L.J. Smith. Picked up a couple of yards Down to the 16. There's a flag on the play.
Flag down.
This Eagles offense is pretty good, Bill.
Oh, come on,
make you
Sam.
laugh?
You're going out on a limb now.
Illegal formation. Number 72, offense. It's a 5-yard penalty. Remains. First down.
They got the tackle again on the illegal formation. But this is our first chance to see them live, and it's very impressive.
They've been good for 3 years. You know, they've been able to do so many things, and Andy Reid has an unbelievable mind. This West Coast offense is so completely different than any other of the teams that run the West Coast offense. Andy finds ways to make players play. It doesn't matter. He's lost guys for 4 years, and he just plugs another one in.
Westbrook carries down to the 21-yard line. Donovan McNabb is 13 for 15, 255 yards and 3 touchdowns.
But Andy used to really have to work to move the football the last couple of years, and primarily because the receivers there was no threat. There was no deep threat. You could play the receivers man-to-man all the time, and they couldn't shake loose. And now that they've got that big wide receiver threat, you have to roll coverage to him. He beats double teams, and it gives single coverage on the other side that people forget about.
Off the play fake, McNabb fires, tipped, intercepted by Andre Davis, the middle linebacker. Took it away from the tight end, L.J. Smith.
And a flag. Personal foul.
It's against the Eagles. The Browns with their first takeaway of the game, and a big one with the Eagles driving. The Browns needed something big on defense, and they got it.
And they got 15 more yards off this, too. What you're going to see here is McNabb finds the tight end. And Sean Thompson just jumps in front of the tight end. I at first thought it went off the hands of L.J. Smith, but that wasn't the case. Sean Thompson just jumped in front of it, and he's the one that got his hands on it, tipped the ball up, and Andre Davis with the interception. Plus an extra 15 yards.
Third interception thrown by Donovan McNabb this season. Andre Davis with the pick.
I'm Vicky, and this is Lamont.
Okay.
And we're about to find out if we're going to have a new addition.
I'm nervous, but I hope it's good news.
I can't take it anymore, baby. What's it say?
We're getting a plasma TV. We're getting a plasma TV.
Monopoly Best Chance game is back at McDonald's.
Yeah, it's okay. Let it out. Let it out. I'm so proud of
I'm going to tell my mom the good news.
All right. I want to let you know she can't come over all the time, but she can come sometimes.
Billionaire Richard Branson became a business mogul by taking huge risks. Now he's invited 16 contestants to enter an extreme competition.
Hello, you can do it.
What they don't know is they're competing for the biggest prize in reality TV history.
This is an opportunity I never thought I would offer anybody.
As one will become president of his entire Virgin World empire. You heard it right. President.
I'm offering you my job.
The Rebel Billionaire premieres Tuesday, November 9th on Fox. On November 7th, The Simpsons' epic 16th season begins. With the most amazing...
I've learned to walk naked on stilts.
Out-of-this-world episodes ever.
What a delicious meal. I'm going to burst.
Ooh, I'm vomit.
Sunday night belongs to The Simpsons, only on Fox.
This is the Eagles' 5th turnover of the season. Their first 4 have not cost them any points. The Browns with 12 turnovers, and they have been costly. William Green, Terrell Smith in the backfield. Garcia puts it up deep. He's got Northcutt. He's got the catch. Down at the 27-yard line as he beat Lito Shepherd on the play. Northcutt getting a chance to start.
Northcutt has a little quicks to him. Watch him right off the start. He's going to get a little shake there, and right there he gets by Lito Shepherd. when you're playing that up coverage and press coverage, you've got to get a piece of that defender, of the receiver. If the defender doesn't get a piece of you, Sam, they'll pull a little quick guy like that, he'll put a shake on you and be gone.
Two tight ends in as William Green carries, trying to cut it back in, looking for the hole to open up, gets it down to the 21-yard line. The previous completion to Dennis Northcutt was for 42 yards, and Jeff Garcia is now 8 for 10 for 104 yards. So both quarterbacks have been highly accurate.
You know, the one thing that people talk about when you talk about this two-headed running back attack is Suggs and Green, is that Suggs really has natural patience to his run. And Green is learning his patience. He's learning how to see the hole and wait for it to open. I thought there was a great example of it.
Green 6 carries, 50 yards. Steve Hyden in motion. Lee Suggs carries. Inside the 20, down to the 17-yard line, and very close to the first down. They're riding two big horses, and today both of them are running well.
Well, normally when you have, you know, two backs, you really don't have one. But if you go back and think about Mack and Biner, 1985, both those backs having over 1,000 yards, that's almost impossible to do nowadays. The last pair to do it was 1985, and in 1985 there were some good defenses around. And I played against them.
Yeah. How tough were they?
Absolutely. Well, you never knew what you were going to get. One could take it outside with power and speed, and the other could come downhill at you. And when they're both in the backfield as a defense, you didn't know what you were going to get. These two guys right here, right now, they're sharing the bulk of the load. But I think Suggs may eventually end up being the guy. He has a little bit better vision, a little bit more of a burst to take the big plays. But they're both effective backs, and you're getting a lot out of them right now. And it doesn't affect the quarterback. It doesn't affect the line. It doesn't affect the fullback. And the fullback will always look back and tell the guys, you follow me. I will take you to the hole.
3rd and inches here with Smith and Suggs in the backfield, but Garcia keeps and has a first down short of the 15-yard line.
Look at this here. That's amazing right here. 8 yards a crack. Cleveland is putting on Philadelphia in the running game.
Well, Suggs,
they came into the game, Sam, with the worst average per carry given up to opponents yet, and they haven't had teams stick with the run because they've been behind, so they've been forced to pass. Cleveland clearly is going to stick with the run, and if they score here, they're going to keep this thing tight, and this running game that Cleveland has is going to wear on them.
Garcia shifts. First he shifted Terrell Smith, then he shifted Steve Hyden, the tight end, and then he called timeout. Their second timeout of the first half. So the Eagles have a 21-10 lead, but their defensive line has been run against pretty well. You see, they have a lot of depth this season. A couple of men out today. Grasmanis is inactive, and Jerome McDougal did not make the trip, had the irregular heartbeat earlier in the week, but should be okay
you got a
next
freak,
week.
You got a truck driver. You have a lunatic, right? Walker, Darvin Walker, he's got a calf problem. He hurt last week during practice. I mean, you got a bunch of guys, and they've all played. And Hollis Thomas, the Hamburglar himself, I'll never forget the story. They said Ray Rhodes signed him for a couple of hamburgers.
Well,
they call him the Hamburglar. Look at it. They look like a marsupial.
He's there. He tries to plug it up. Browns have rushed for 106 yards in the game. First down at the Eagles' 16. Smith motions. Garcia being blitzed. Incomplete. Blitz coming from the outside from Dhani Jones. Flag on the play. Did Nate Wayne get a piece of him? Roughing the passer on Philadelphia.
Boy, these penalties are costing Philly some yards now. On the interception, before that on the kickoff with the short field with T.O. And now another personal foul here and a first down. Nate Wayne is up top up here.
That's
Dhani Jones. Nate Wayne is underneath.
And Dhani Jones spun him around, threw him down. So the personal foul gives the Browns a 1st and goal at the 8-yard line. Eagles defense has been good in the red zone this season. Lee Suggs in the backfield. 2 tight ends. And there's movement on the line.
They're coming out with all these different formations and trying to confuse Philadelphia's defense, but actually they're confusing themselves. 2 guys
Number
moving.
82, offense, 5-yard penalty, remains, 1st down.
Steve Hayden, one of the tight ends, moved on the play.
Philadelphia has been pretty good in the red zone.
Yes.
This year, thus far this year.
Lee Suggs, the lone back. Brisbane Jackson motion. Here's Suggs cutting it back. There's a big hole. He is in. Touchdown. Superb blocking up front. Sealed it off. And Lee Suggs carries it home. 13-yard touchdown run for Lee Suggs. His 2nd touchdown run of the season.
That's the outside zone play, and you always look for the cutback on the outside zone play. Tucker did an outstanding job up front. Ryan Tucker getting the push, and on the backside tight end, Steve Hayden's block is what sprung it open on the backside.
The Browns, who had trouble scoring in first halves up until last week, when they put up 21, they put up 17 in the first half this week. Lee Suggs with a 13-yard touchdown run has closed the Philadelphia lead to 4.
There's Hayden on the backside. He's the tight end. Look at the job he's going to do. Get down here. And right here, you watch him see that seal? He seals that thing off and springs it open. Look at Tucker getting that. Look at this push. Tucker gets the walling that off. That's beautiful. And then there's the seam inside. Outstanding job on the backside. That's the outside zone play, and they get the defense going one way, and they kind of seal them off. And you're looking for the cutback all the way. Suggs, beautiful job. Great vision reading his blocks.
Running game working for the Cleveland Browns. Green with a touchdown run. Suggs with a touchdown run. And the Eagles' lead is 21-17. And they are riding both horses today, and both horses are running well.
Well, and they're running the ball, Sam. That's right. The horses are trotting now. Or galloping, I should say. And they're galloping at will, any place they want to go.
Miami ahead of St. Louis, 14-7. That's a surprise. Indianapolis at halftime leading Jacksonville. Minnesota leading Tennessee late in the 2nd quarter. Lee Suggs, 7 carries, 65 yards. William Green, 6 carries, 50 yards. So Suggs is over 9 yards per carry. Green is over 8 yards per carry.
Well, they've got to shore up their defense. The Eagles have to shore up their defense. Coming into the game, it was a hunch. I was concerned about, you look at it and all the big numbers they're putting up. It's the one thing you didn't really notice. Yards per carry against the defense.
J.R. Reed on the return with good speed, but he gets tripped up. Eric Westmoreland tripped him up. Eagles will start across the 35-yard line. Today, Donovan McNabb throwing to Chad Lewis. Answered by William Green's touchdown run. Then it was McNabb going up top to T.O. And the Eagles had the 14-7 lead. T.O. again. That made it 21-10. And then Lee Suggs with a beautiful cutback. The Eagles passing, the Browns running. Eagles start from the 35. Chad Lewis shifted. McNabb being pressured, throws it out of bounds. McNabb was taken down after he released.
You know what?
Sean Thompson was the man that took him down.
When I look at these Cleveland Browns, Sam, I see the 1985 team. I really do. Except for the mobile quarterback part. Bernie wasn't a big-time scrambler, but I see them. I see a team that really dominates in the running game, and a team that defensively has some firepower to them. I think they could probably use today a little Hanford Dog Dixon and Frank Minifield out there.
Eagles come out with 4 wide receivers, 3 to the left. Owens motions. Quick outside. Todd Kingston with a 6-yard gain, maybe 7. Now they'll spot it at the 36, give him 6 on the play, and bring up a 3rd down. The most points scored against the Eagles. The Eagles came into the game giving up the fewest points in the NFL, just over 12 points per game. They've given up 17 in the first half, and Jim Johnson, the defensive coordinator, has to be concerned. Alvin McKinley, number 97, in at defensive tackle for the Browns. 3rd and 4. McNabb. Freddie Mitchell.
I don't think he got it.
It's very close. It depends on the spot. And I think you're right. I think he may be inches short. Good tackle by Anthony Henry on Freddie Mitchell. Coming into today's game, Freddie Mitchell had caught 7 passes, and all of them had been for a 1st down. He was looking for one there, and it looks like he comes up inches short. We've reached the 2-minute warning in a heck of a game. The Eagles leading the Browns 21-17.
Fox NFL Sunday is brought to you by Hummer. Check out the H2. Hummer, like nothing else.
First day. Nervous? Want me to drop you off here so you can walk up?
No, we can pour it up.
Sure you're gonna be all right?
Should be. Hi, honey. What's up?
Nice ride.
Fire in his tire. The speed of lightning's higher. Like Dr. Pepper, the originality to inspire. I like the taste of Dr. Pepper. The taste of originality. Salutes individuality and gives life a personality. So be you. Do what you do. Be you. Nothing's better. Dr. Pepper.
I've got the world on a string, sitting on a rainbow.
If everything in life has a signature something, consider this Visa's signature card. The Visa signature card can get you into America's hottest restaurants by holding tables for signature card holders. And with remarkable purchasing power accepted millions more places worldwide than American Express, it might not put the world on a string, but it can put it on a card. Visa signature.
Andy Reid making a decision here as the spot comes up about half a yard short of the 1st down marker. It's at the Eagles 44 and a half. Had a discussion with referee Tom White. It looks like the Eagles will go for it. They keep the offense on. Westbrook and Perry in the backfield. Big fullback. What do you think of this call?
Well, you know, this is an area where you may want to come out there and try to hold your water and McDonovan get him with a hard count and get a freebie.
Westbrook is out wide left. Quarterback sneak.
He didn't get it.
McNabb did not
He
get
did
it.
not
He
get
stopped him. Wow. What an effort up front by the defensive line led by Ebenezer Ekubon.
Orpheus Roy was in there with a huge push. Huge push over Hank Fraley. Look at these guys right in here. That's Orpheus Roy. They get under Hank Fraley, and then Andre Davis jumps over the top of them.
And Ekubon was pulling him back from the ground. So this could hurt the Eagles. Plenty of time for the Browns.
I thought that's the area of the field where you go out there and you just say, you know, hey, you line up, you hold your water, you get a couple hard counts, you let the clock wind down, and then send your punt team out there. I was surprised, especially when the offensive line doesn't get that much practice pounding the football. All their touchdowns have been in the air, Sam. It's not like they're down on the goal line rooting people out.
Let's see what the Browns do. They motion Suggs. Garcia throws to Suggs, and he dropped it. Pass thrown knee high. Suggs did not hold on. Second down. Browns with a chance to grab the lead.
You have to respect these numbers right here. When you're inside the 50, here's the scoring rate. Almost 60% touchdown or a field goal. Okay? And you have to respect those numbers. Those numbers are there for a reason. And obviously, when you have to go 90 yards, the chances of success very slim. But I don't know if you gamble that. I don't agree with that call because your offensive line hasn't been in those circumstances enough times.
It's only the third drive that has started in Eagles territory this season. Quick out to Aaron Shea, the tight end.
I like
with a good push. Gets down to the 37-yard line, his third catch of the game.
I like Aaron Shea and Steve Hyden. They're blue-collar, tough guys that have a role in how they do things. And Shea's been a guy that's been injured over the last couple of years. You know, he just hasn't really come into his shoulder problems, and he just hasn't been able to be himself. This year, he's been healthy, and of course, they come in, they get a Kellen Winslow, and you're thinking, heck, I just hope I can get on the field and do some things. But then Kellen's departure with the injury, and Shea and Hyden have really done a heck of a job manning that position with two of them together and shifting the motion into all different spots on the field.
Three wide receivers in. The toss to Suggs. Led around by Verba. Goes down for a first down inside the 35 to the 34. Clock running with 35 seconds. Browns have only one time remaining. Excuse me. Time on the clock is 1:25. Davis has checked the timeout situation. Three wide receivers. Antonio Bryant is in. Draw play to Suggs. Eagles have him. Short pickup on the play. On first down. Good job by the Eagles, led by Corey Simon on the tackle of Lee Suggs.
Take a look at the tight ends. Take a look at their production. 5 of 5. That's Shea and Hyden. These two guys right here have contributed to that. And those are some huge numbers. 5 for 5 with those two guys. That's big-time stuff. Somehow they're going to work in there. It doesn't matter. They hit the seam. They'll hit the flat. They're involved in blocking. They're all over the field, these two guys. An integral part of this offense is the tight end position.
Terry Robisky, the offensive coordinator, told us they won't stretch the field, but they'll find the openings.
Oh, they're good.
And they're reliable with good hands.
Smart players, he called them, in finding the zone.
Don't forget, tonight, Game 2 of the World Series, 7:30 Eastern Time, the pregame show. And then from Fenway Park, Joe Buck, Tim McCarver, Al Leiter, Jeannie Zelasco, Kevin Kennedy, bring it to you. Kurt Schilling for the Red Sox, Matt Morris for the Cardinals. Stay with Fox. We've got a second game NFL doubleheader game following this one. On second down, three wide receivers for the Browns. Garcia throwing deep for Northcutt, overthrown. He had a step on Lito Shepherd.
Well, the ball was overthrown, and I got to tell you that he had some pressure in his face, too. Darwin Walker came in there and was hitting him as he released that ball, and it was just too much on the ball. He had Northcutt open.
Northcutt has got good speed, had a good season last year with 62 receptions, but then went free agent. Didn't get the offers that he was looking for, re-signed with the Browns. Phil Dawson is ready to come on. If the Browns go field goal.
Watch Antonio.
Here comes the blitz. They stop the play.
Antonio Bryant at the top of your screen. I think they have a false start here, Sam.
There's an all-out blitz coming.
Well, they might have got a little jumpy in there then.
False start. Number 19, offense, 5-yard penalty, remains, third down.
That's the wide receiver Frisman Jackson playing his first game this season, just up from the practice squad with the injury to Andre Davis. Suggs and Smith in the backfield. Ball spotted at the Eagles 38. Browns have to get to the 26 for a first down. Garcia steps up, starts to run, throws low, incomplete. Intended for Lee Suggs. And here comes fourth down. And this would be out of the range of Dawson, so the punting unit comes on. With 54 seconds to go in the first half, the Eagles have all their timeouts remaining. First punt of the game for Derek Frost. Reno Mahe is deep for Philadelphia, standing in his own 10. Up in the air, good hang time, fair catch by Mahe at the 9-yard line.
Oh, that was a heck of a punt. Heck of a punt.
28 yards, no return. 47 seconds remaining in the first half. The Eagles, who led 21-10, only to have the Browns come back with a strong running game. The guys are standing by with a Visa halftime report. JB, Terry, Howie, and Jimmy bring you the scores and highlights and their analysis, plus the Fox Sports ticker with all the up-to-date information. Eagles come out with 3 wide receivers. Start from the 9-yard line. The dog pound letting them know. McNabb fakes, goes draw play to Westbrook, gets a yard. Good tackle by Kennard Lang.
Kennard Lang hustles. I'll tell you, there's one thing he really jumps at. Kennard Lang plays hard no matter where he's at. Anytime he's on the field with any team he's with, you're going to get some motor out of this guy.
Eagles letting the clock run down. They'll be satisfied to let time run out. Browns can't stop it. They're out of timeouts. And the Eagles will go to the locker room with the lead at halftime. Westbrook cuts it back. And he's brought down by Anthony Henry. And that's it. So the Eagles lead at halftime. They've played 22 quarters this season, and they've had the lead at the end of every quarter. The Browns are pressing them with the running attack, but the Eagles' passing game has been outstanding. 21-17 at the...
It's Fox NFL Sunday. Vinny has the Cowboys primed in a showdown of legendary franchises. But Favre and the Packers look to turn things around and get back in the hunt. Fox NFL Sunday doubleheader continues later today in HD.
It's the Best Damn Sports Show's Fall Spectacular. 60 days of sports television like you've never seen before. Weeknights only on FSN.
The Eagles in Ohio. Tally's talking with the Birds.
Tonight, after the game.
It's an S-Type 3.0 for $4.99 a month at your New Jersey, Pennsylvania, and Delaware area Jaguar retailer.
Toyota makes a tremendous effort to produce the safest possible vehicles on the road. So every vehicle you see here received 5 stars from the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration. That gives them the highest safety rating in their class. And right now, your Toyota dealer has great values on the Corolla and the Matrix, both 5-star safety winners. So much safety to choose from, Toyota is bound to have something perfect for you.
The 2004 Mercury Mountaineer gives you a lot for a little. Room for up to 7? Got it. 81.4 cubic feet of cargo space? Got it. Highest owner loyalty in its class? Got it. A best pick safety rating? Got it. Got it. Got it. Got it. But you better get it now. Well, you can also get 0% APR for 5 full years or up to $6,500 cash back. Time's running out. See your Lincoln Mercury dealer today.
After September 11th, our world changed. Either we fight terrorists abroad or face them here. John Kerry and liberals in Congress have a different view. They opposed Reagan as he won the Cold War, voted against the first Gulf War, voted to slash intelligence after the first Trade Center attack, repeatedly opposed weapons vital to winning the war on terror. John Kerry and his liberal allies, are they a risk we can afford to take today?
I'm George W. Bush, and I approve this message.
The Visa Halftime Report is brought to you by Visa, proud sponsor of the NFL. Get ready for the game.
Folks, coming on the heels of the World Series highest scoring Game 1, we get set for Game 2 tonight. It'll be the Cardinals at the Red Sox at Fenway tonight at 7:30 p.m. Eastern Time, 4:30 Pacific in Fox Sports High Definition here on Fox. You won't want to miss that as we welcome you to the Visa Halftime and talk about a game in Cleveland. 21-17, Philadelphia and Cleveland playing well. T.O. has to be happy. He's catching plenty of balls from that man.
Donovan McNabb and the Eagles looking to remain undefeated. All right, McNabb, let's get her going. Post route. There it is. Owens against cover 2. 39-yard touchdown. 14-7. It is Philly. Look left, Donovan. He does. Safety moves back down the right sideline. 40-yard score. This time the 8th touchdown reception on the year for Owens. Finds a sign, takes one to no one. Pitch of a rat, first it down. Boy, this is turning out to be some kind of game, Howie. 21-10 until Suggs takes it in from 13 yards out. 21-17, Eagles over Cleveland at the half. All right, rookie Roy Williams of the Lions, rookie out of Texas. Deep in route at the goal line, Jimmy. There's a nice catch by a guy coming off of an ankle injury. 18-yard score, 7th in Lions until this 61-yard scoring pass actually moves a screen. Dump it off to Tiki Barber. Hello, hold on to the ball, young'un. Good ball game, 10-7. Giants over the Lions. It's a half. Atlanta, Kansas City. Wow, talk about a whooping. Look at this, Vic. Pulls it down, turns around, takes off. Nice scramble, 32 yards. Led to a field goal, 3-0 Atlanta. All Kansas City on the ground. Priest Holmes from 15 yards out, and then with 2 seconds later, 2 seconds remaining, out of the ice to the throwing for the kicking a field goal. There it is, 35-3. 4 touchdowns on the day for Priest Holmes. Absolutely a spanking, as my man JB would like to say.
Brian Greasy effective in the first half, leading 10-0. Buccaneers over the Bears in that one. Dolphins' first points of the opening quarter of the season, 14-7 over the Rams right now. And Indianapolis leading by 4 over the Jaguars. Leftwich, completed his first 10 passes of the game. Steve McNair out with the bruised sternum. Randy Moss only played 2 plays. Minnesota up comfortably there. Panthers looking for their first victory, home victory of the season. And Baltimore without Jamal Lewis, 17-3. Deion Sanders picked up the slack, though. A 48-yard interception return for a touchdown. Philly, Cleveland.
Hopefully after today, the Owens-Garcia riff will be over with. But Owens, he's got to be enjoying this. He's catching bombs going down the field. Now, Philadelphia, they're not playing real good run defense, so Cleveland's hanging in there. But Garcia tries to throw the bomb. He just doesn't have enough arm, and it gets intercepted. So, Owens has got to be loving today.
Who was his offensive coordinator in San Francisco? Greg Knapp.
Right.
Who was his quarterback in San Francisco? Jeff Garcia.
Enough said.
Well, Atlanta's struggling a little bit, and so is
McNabb. MVP year so far. McNabb is playing fantastic.
If you just picked Culpepper in the last half.
Well, yeah, but that was different audience.
We'll continue after this.
Visa, proud sponsor of the NFL. Get ready for the game.
Kids will be kids, but this is ridiculous. When timeouts just don't work anymore, it's time for Nanny 911. Can the world's best nannies turn things around for America's most out-of-control families?
Enough!
They'll have only 7 days to do the impossible.
You have 1 night left to get it right.
Wait till you see what a little tough love can accomplish.
Yay!
Nanny 911, coming to the rescue Wednesday, November 3rd on Fox. Mark your calendar.
Oh my God, oh my God, oh my God.
And shout it out. Because November 7th is Fox season premiere Sunday.
Finally!
Don't miss a single minute of the biggest Malcolm ever, the all-new Simpsons Treehouse of Horror, and Arrested Development Emmy winner for Best Comedy. So get there any way you can.
Are you too big to sit on your pop's lap and drive?
Season premiere Sunday starts with King of the Hill, November 7th on Fox.
This week on NFL Big Man Dance Challenge, it's a D-line dance-off. Carolina's Brinson Boogie Buckner struts his stuff against Hugh Hitman Douglas from the Philly Birds. It's a quarter ton of dancing fun. The winner moves on to face NFC West champ Grant Wistrom for a cash prize of $3,000. That's this week on NFL Big Man Dance Challenge.
In Cleveland, where Donovan McNabb has thrown 3 touchdown passes, Terrell Owens has caught 2. The Browns have rushed for 2 touchdowns, and Phil Dawson has kicked another field goal. 14 in a row this season, 24 consecutive. We'll be back with the start of the second half right after this message from your local Fox station.
You're watching Fox Sports. Broadcasting at 720p, the world's finest high-definition standard with Dolby 5.1.
Every man for himself!
Malcolm in the Middle, weeknights at 6:30, Fox 29.
I'm a Ford truck man.
It's the biggest truck event of the year. It's Ford Big Throwdown.
Ready for a throwdown?
Where you can save big on America's #1 selling trucks.
No other truck can touch Ford, brother.
Now get great throwdown savings on tough F-Series pickups, like up to $5,750 cash back on the award-winning F-150. And check out the bigger, bolder, tougher than ever next Ford Super Duty.
This is why Ford is #1.
Get to Ford's Big Throwdown today.
Bring it on. Ain't no doubt my king of the mountains built Ford tough.
The road to perfection is not on any map. It cannot be found in a road atlas. To get there, you set your speed at impossible. And never take your foot off the accelerator. The new ES, refined with a passion. At your New Jersey, Delaware, and Pennsylvania area Lexus dealer.
Just when you thought you'd seen it all, there comes another. And another. America's hottest products are at your Chrysler dealer. Like Town & Country, with 2 rows of fold flat stow and go seating, and the government's 5-star side impact crash test rating. And now, returning Daimler Chrysler owners can get $3,500 in combined cash allowances. America's hottest products are at your Chrysler dealer.
Noticeably perfect. The Range Rover by Land Rover. Special lease and finance rates available.
It's my room.
My room.
My room.
My room.
My room, man.
My room.
Just look for it.
Hey! 10. 11.
12, baby. Come on. Come on. Whoa! That's 12, baby. We got to win it.
Moving into the big room, baby.
The McNabb suite?
What you talking about?
Seniority, baby. That's my room. Yo. Oh, you just lost your TV privileges, rookie.
Come on,
City, oh, where to go, Ohio?
Chrissy Hine and the Pretenders. Welcome back to Cleveland. Way to go, Ohio. Nicely done. Way to go, Cleveland Browns, with their running game. That's kept them in the game. Terrific job in the first half.
Nicely done as well. 123 yards rushing in the first half. The Eagles defense struggling in that capacity, no question about it. And the Browns have been able to do it in a multitude of ways. They've gotten to the perimeter outside. Suggs. You've also seen William Green gashing them. He's been pounding them in the middle. They've run the ball effectively left, right, and up the middle. And as long as you can run the football in the NFL, you can do a lot of things off of it. And I expect to see in the second half, especially with Trotter in the middle, they're going to try to tighten down that run defense. I mean, when you go in at halftime, you give up 123 on the ground, Sam. You're going to come out and you're going to try to stop the run. Now, that's going to be the emphasis in the Philadelphia Eagles locker room. I imagine in the Cleveland Browns locker room, they're going to try to find an option off the play action, off the run game, and get the ball behind Jeremiah Trotter this half.
All right, let's find out what the Browns are thinking. Moments ago, R.J. Glazer caught up with Browns head coach Butch Davis.
All right, thanks, guys. Butch, you're down 4 points at halftime, but your ground game has been spectacular. What have you seen to them that you've been able to gas them to the tune of 7 yards of carry?
Well, I think certainly some of the big plays that we had in the passing game last week created a lot of respect for the opportunities to create big plays. It's given us a chance to run the game. Our offensive line's doing a good job picking up a lot of the stunts and blitzes, and the runners are running well.
Thanks, Butch. Good luck in the second half. Back to you guys.
Thanks very much, Jay. The Browns will receive the kickoff to start the second half. Andy Reid talking with us last night about wanting better second halves from his team.
He's going to need one now. He's going to need one now if he wants to stay in this, because this is a dogfight right here in the dog pound. And this offensive line of Cleveland is one of a throwback Cleveland Browns team. Look at the guy's arms, the bare arms, the ink, the nastiness about them. Strength coach Buddy Morris right beside him. Look at him right here. There's Buddy Morris. That's their strength coach. He's all inked up as well. And this is about that bunch of guys. This is like a Doug Deacon type of game. And the mentality that these guys have on that offensive line, you've got to love it.
Set for the kickoff to start the second half.
They love their iron, as in pumping iron. They love their Harleys. These boys don't mind swill a few brews down either.
David Akers kicking off, popped short, and Chad Mustard, the third tight end, takes it, is spun around, and is down at the 25-yard line. So they did not kick it deep. And Mustard came up with it. Fantasy players, here are the numbers. First half, look at McNabb, passing for 264 yards, 3 touchdowns. Garcia passed for 111, was intercepted once. Lee Suggs rushed for 69. William Green for 50. Terrell Owens, 3 catches, 97 yards, 2 touchdowns. Chad Lewis with a touchdown reception. Brown start at the 26. Brisman Jackson and Dennis Northcutt, the wideouts. Terrell Smith and William Green in the backfield. Heighten, the tight end. Garcia's short drop pass knocked down. Nathan Wayne got up in the air, as did Derek Burgess, and knocked it down.
Here's Wayne. And watch him jump up in there in the middle here. And now watch, here's a little quick pass. And he gets his hand up right in the middle of the passing lane.
Browns come out with a pass to start.
Mike Lee, right here.
Brisman Jackson in motion. Green stumbled a little bit, then he takes it up to the 29, picked up 3. They'll bring up a 3rd and 7. Douglas made the tackle for the Eagles. Darwin Walker looked like he was shaken up a little bit on the play. Walker stays. And a 3rd and long. 5 defensive backs in for the Eagles. 3 wide receivers with Antonio Bryant on for Cleveland. Eagles show blitz. Here it comes. Dawkins almost got him. Garcia in trouble. Dawkins has it down. Ball's loose. And the scramble on. Jeff Fain, the center, recovered the fumble. Ryan Dawkins missed him the first time, but got him the second time.
Well, I got to tell you, Sam, you know, Jeff Garcia, they come with a blitz here first. And here comes Dawkins. He's up in there. And they bring the linebacker as well. But he's looking for Antonio Bryant. And he scrambles out of there. There's the strip of the football. And that's just staying after the hunt as far as Dawkins is concerned. That's just staying after the hunted. And Antonio Bryant was downfield, and he had defensive backs grabbing him downfield. It just went unnoticed by the officials. Jeff Garcia was looking for him, but couldn't throw the ball.
Good punt by Derek Frost. Reno Mahe is warmed under at the 15, but several flags on the play. 55-yard punt for Derek Frost. Just a 2-yard return by Reno Mahe, and we'll check out the flags. John Harbaugh, the special teams coordinator for the Philadelphia Eagles. Wondering about the call.
Hat down, you know what that means? That means a player was out of bounds. Usually the gunner. When the gunner is running, they get out on the sidelines.
On the play. It's on the Cleveland player, and there's no foul for what he did. Timeout for TV.
All right.
Did you ask for that timeout, Sam?
No.
Timeout for TV? Who's calling for that?
I guess the TV guys.
Enter Southwest Airlines, take your team to the Super Bowl sweepstakes, and you could win a trip to the Super Bowl for you and 10 friends.
Oh, how'd he make the list?
Brother-in-law.
Naturally.
Enter at southwest.com/Super Bowl.
Life is a journey. A road that can take you anywhere. Down main streets and over backcountry lanes. Where it goes is up to you. And as long as you keep your promises and never lose sight of your goals, your dreams are just around the corner. Welcome to the next generation of Ford. An unprecedented 6 all-new vehicles. Right here, right now. Ford, built for the road ahead.
This telecast is copyrighted by the NFL for the private use of our audience. Any other use of this telecast or of any pictures, descriptions, or accounts of the game without the NFL's consent is prohibited.
Fox NFL Sunday is brought to you by Southwest Airlines, proud sponsor of the NFL and official airline of Super Bowl 39.
Fox Television broadcasting in the highest standard of high definition.
Is that Elvis in high definition? What is
He's a week early.
What is it?
The Eagles set back to the 8-yard line, so a penalty was assessed by Tom White, and we'll try to get it for you while we're away. The Eagles are set back to the 8-yard line, which is where they start from, with Dorsey Levens in the backfield and 2 tight ends. Terrell Owens on the sideline, Freddie Mitchell and Todd Pinkston the wide receivers. Lewis in motion, the play fake, McNabb. Rolling and looking short to L.J. Smith. Wrestled down around the neck at the 12-yard line. His first catch of the game, Warwick Holdman took him down. Lions are trying to score against the Giants, right, JB?
Hey, Sam, indeed. They're showing some tenacity, not giving up. The rookie out of Virginia Tech, Kevin Jones, takes it over. His first career touchdown. Jones had 3 carries for 44 yards on that drive, and the Lions are on top of the Giants, 14-10. Back to Sam, Bill, and Jay.
Jones and Williams back in the lineup. Ryan Westbrook is in. Terrell Owens in. McNabb being pressured, throws wide. Pass intended for Terrell Owens, and he gets up, and here's a mouthful from Andre Davis, the middle linebacker. First game that Terrell Owens has ever played in Cleveland. He's caught 3 passes in the game, 2 for touchdowns.
And the dog pound is not an area where you want to do the barking.
That's right.
You know? if you come into Cleveland Brown Stadium here, you just keep your mouth shut and go about your business, because you start barking, there'll be a lot growling at you.
3 wide receivers in for the Eagles on 3rd down. Have to get to the 18 for a first. The toss on the end around. McNabb blocked for Greg Lewis. Lewis tricked up to the 14. Good tackle by Chris Crocker. Crocker plays nickel back. Eventually, he may be the starter at safety.
He's good. I like the way this foot, his enthusiasm, the way he plays the game and special teams. He throws his body around. And just, you watch him on the field, he goes going full speed all the time. Look at him laying out there with just the arms diving precisely at the shoestrings.
Dave Campo, the defensive coordinator, says it takes a long time for me to make changes. But Proctor's starting to bring him around. Dirk Johnson with the punt, a good one. Backing up Northcutt, what a good grab. Now he turns it, and he's got an opening. Northcutt gets to the sideline, out of bounds near midfield.
Penalty flag down back at the line of scrimmage on the gunner outside there.
58-yard punt, 21-yard return. We check out the flag. It's against the Eagles.
Illegal formation, number 83 on the kicking team. Penalty is declined. They'll take the result of the play. First down for Cleveland. Timeout.
The Eagles have had a lot of penalties.
Yeah, much more than they're used to taking. Good punt, but an outstanding return for the Browns.
It combines the things you love about a car with the stuff you need from an SUV. The totally new Ford Freestyle. One vehicle, endless possibilities. Ford, built for the road ahead.
You want another bud?
No thanks.
Oh, gotta take this. Watch my beer.
I'd like to see what's going on under that label of yours. Sometimes when I'm drinking my bud, I pretend it's you with all that flavor. You know, a lot of guys don't understand cold filtering. What's up, Kenny? But I know how smooth you are. I'm breaking it off with my beer for you. Maybe I'll just take a little taste right now and then What?
Hey, parents, are you tired of your kids going over their wireless minutes?
Yeah. And kids, are you tired of your parents hassling you for going over?
Well, now you can relax, because only Sprint got rid of ugly overages. Check it out.
Now families can talk more. Share 800 anytime minutes on 2 lines for just $70 a month. 100 extra minutes for just $5 means no ugly overages. And each additional line is just $10 a month.
You can save money.
Thanks.
And you can keep talking.
Oh, yeah. Sprint PCS. Now that's better.
So what do you think, sweetie? See-through or red?
Forget the freezer. Get to Chili's for the new Mix and Match Grill. Salmon, steak, chicken, shrimp, or baby back ribs. Your choice of 2, all on one plate. Come on, live a little.
Look at the offensive line of the Cleveland Browns. They've done a good job, Bill.
Well, look at the holes they're opening up. Look at the yards they produce. That group looks like it could be the bouncer of the month club. Look at them.
Browns start from the 49-yard line.
Go left, go left, go left.
Tight end shifting. It's Aaron Shea. Brisbane Jackson in motion. William Green carries. They want him to have patience, wait for the hole to open up, and he took some time and got about 2 on the play. Just across midfield. Sam Rayburn, the second-year defensive tackle from Tulsa, made the stop. And hasn't Rayburn been a big welcome addition for the Eagles defensive line?
Look at his right hand. Look at his right glove, and it's just filled with blood. Take a look at him. He's going to get his hand down there. He's just filled up with blood on his hand. It's dangling down in there. And if there's one guy that can take on a bouncer, it's a truck driver. And that's what they call him, the truck driver.
There's William Green, a couple of blocks, and he's pushed back. Javon Curse leading the way.
The truck driver, watch him get the penetration in the backfield. Now, the truck driver got his nickname from the guys on his team. Watch him get this push here over Enoch DeMar. He gets that push, extends, keeps his one hand free, then slides down the line, and he's the one that caused that play. He was almost there to make the tackle, but he definitely caused the play, and everybody else collided and came in and filled.
Was a good run stopper at Tulsa in college, but was overlooked in the draft. Signed as a free agent by the Eagles last year. Here's 3rd and long. Have to get to the 41 for a first down. Garcia gets pressure. Fires and complete. play. Completion to Antonio Bryant. The yardage will be good enough for the first down. We check out the flag. Lito Shepherd covering Antonio Bryant on the play.
Yeah, and they're going to finally get the flag that they had on Antonio Bryant, or should have called on Antonio Bryant before on the Garcia fumble.
Number 26. The penalty is declined. Take the result of the play. First down.
Well, that's the second
14-yard
time.
pickup.
Well, they know the speed Antonio Bryant has. Lito Shepherd, right when he gets even with him, see, he gets his hands on him. That's what he did before. You can't get your hands on the receiver once you're past 5 yards, Sam.
So the Browns with the first down at the Eagles' 36. Suggs and Smith in the backfield. Play fake by Garcia. Going deep. For Northcutt. Dennis broke it up. Sheldon Brown. Excellent coverage on Dennis Northcutt.
Outstanding job by Sheldon Brown on staying with Northcutt. And Northcutt's a guy that once this little move right in here is where he can get you. But see him stay with him. He always has a feel, and he uses the sideline as his buddy to always have a feel for where Northcutt is. He turned his hips on him early because he knew he had him out against the sideline. Then he just runs with him and tries to feel where he's at the entire time so he can make a leap at the ball at the right moment.
Browns with 2 tight ends in. Lee Suggs carrying. And fights his way close to the 30-yard line. Bring up a 3rd and 4 for the Browns.
Yeah, but just think about that clock, Sam. Think about the clock and the running and eating it up.
Are they wearing the Eagles down? That'll be the question.
Well, we're going to see. You know, Andy hasn't been happy with his performance of his team in the second half. It's something that's concerned him. And if you keep on running at him, you can see the time of possession right there. If you keep on running at him, and then you get Big 42 back in the game to start pounding on him, no. It's not a friendly situation to be in.
3 wide receivers for the Browns. Garcia throws and completes it to Northcutt. Dives forward, and he's got the first down. Good effort by Dennis Northcutt.
Nice awareness.
Ryan Dawkins was on him, tried to hold him up short of the first down line, couldn't do it.
Well, Antonio Bryant, again, watch him, Sam. Watch him look towards the sidelines. He's going to take that ball, and he's looking for the first down, and he lunges forward at the last moment. That was Dennis Northcutt. He lunges forward, flag down on the ground.
12 men, offense in the huddle, 5-yard penalty, still first down.
Well, and that's going to kill him. And the reason for that is you've got new guys up. You've got Frisman Jackson up. You've got Antonio Bryant back in the mix now. The wide receivers hurt. You lose King, so you're not quite sure who's in, who's out. You may have the fullback out on the field, too. You have the 2 tight ends, so they're just not used to when the formation's called and the huddle, the personnel grouping. They're getting a little confused with the new guys.
First and 15 from the 29. 2 tight ends. Frisman Jackson motion. Blitz coming.
Whoa.
William Green gets away. Slips one man, picks up a block, dives forward. What an effort by William Green. That was almost a huge loss on the blitz by Brian Dawkins.
I cannot believe Jeff Garcia got the ball into William Green's hand.
And Green spun away.
At the mesh where Garcia gives the ball to the running back, number 20, Dawkins is going to be in there as well, swatting his hand down. Amazing that William Green was able to get the ball away from Garcia and Dawkins and get it into his possession.
Picked up 8 on the play. 2nd and 5. Garcia throws outside. Touchdown. And all along is Steve Hyden for a touchdown. And the Browns take the lead.
Sam, I talked about it at halftime, and the Philadelphia Eagles are in there giving up 123 yards at halftime. So they're going to come in and they're going to hunker down on that run defense. They're going to correct it, and they're getting their butts chewed in that locker room about giving up that kind of yardage. The focus is on run defense. And on the other end of it, you know Cleveland's sitting there saying, we're going to come out and pass the second half. they're going to be so honed in on run defense that we're going to come out throwing, and I think it's caught Philadelphia totally off guard.
Steve Heiden's first touchdown in 2 years. Extra point by Phil Dawson is good. The Browns, who were down 21-10, now lead it 24-21.
Sheldon Brown gets picked right inside there. The two defenders run into each other. They're on the ground. And it's Steve Heiden and the Browns in the end zone.
HP services and technology help the world's great companies face, manage, and love change. HP. Invent.
Cholesterol. It comes grilled, fried, slow-cooked, twice-baked, poached, and pureed. But it also comes from Mom, Dad, Grandma Ethel, and Grandpa Sam. Your cholesterol doesn't just come from food. It also has a lot to do with family history. Today, there's Vytorin. When diet and exercise aren't enough, adding Vytorin can help. Vytorin is a new product that treats the two sources of cholesterol. Cholesterol from food and the cholesterol your body makes naturally based on family history. Vytorin lowers bad cholesterol 45 to 60%. Vytorin is not for everyone, including people with liver problems, women who are nursing, pregnant, or may become pregnant. Unexplained muscle pain or weakness could be a sign of a rare but serious side effect. Vytorin may interact with other medicines or certain foods, increasing your risk of getting this serious side effect. Simple blood tests are needed to check for liver problems. Ask your doctor about new Vytorin. Your cholesterol comes from two sources. Treat them both with Vytorin.
We told 12 Ivy League hotshots they were competing for a job with a rich mogul.
Welcome to my world.
And they bought it. Meet my big, fat, obnoxious boss.
When I point to you, speak.
I need to be here because I'm the one that's going to give the opportunity what I
Focus. A new con is on. Sunday, November 7th on Fox.
Key men to watch on the coverage team for the Cleveland Browns. Lee Bodden, defensive back, linebacker, Kevin Bentley, Chris Crocker, defensive back. They get down in a hurry. Phil Dawson to kick off. J.R. Reed takes it at the 6. Slipped one man, but not the second. Good tackle, Lee Bodden. Took him down, comes up limping a little bit, but good coverage by the Browns, who are pumped up right now. They have the lead and looking to shut down the Eagles.
It combines the things you love about a car with the stuff you need from an SUV. The totally new Ford Freestyle. One vehicle, endless possibilities. Ford, built for the road ahead.
Hello? If you haven't switched to GSM America from AT&T Wireless, you don't know what you're missing.
Gotta go.
Because now our best network ever is even better with more coverage in more places.
Poor guy.
Right now, buy one Motorola Color Phone for $39.99 and get a second one free.
Glad you called, Dad. Me too. Nice fish.
GSM America from AT&T Wireless. How many bars do you have?
Visa, proud sponsor of the NFL, presents defensive lineman Brenson Buckner, who gets ready for the game with his Visa card and a lot of lip balm. In a remarkable pregame ritual, Brenson kisses his cleats once for every beloved member of his family. His son, Brandon. His mother, Thelma. His wife, Denise. Not his father-in-law, Thomas. He's a Browns fan. He's got his Visa. He's got his lip balm. He's ready.
I got a lot of names.
Visa, get ready for the game.
Fox NFL Sunday is brought to you by Ford. 6 all-new vehicles, each built for the road ahead. By Visa, proud sponsor of the NFL. Get ready for the game. By HP, services and technology help companies face, manage, and love change. And by AT&T Wireless. Experience GSM America. It's our best network ever.
Crowd noise elevating. Eagles start from the 22 out of the shotgun. McNabb completes it to Todd Pinkston out of bounds at the 31, close to the 32-yard line.
Lee Bodden is a special teams coverage guy and sack leader. You ever hear the term head on a swivel? Watch him look back upfield. Here he is right here. He's going to look back upfield, glance up once, glance up again, and then glance up finally, and then close in on the ball carrier. Because when you pop free in special teams and you're running full speed down the field, and you're the leading tackler on special teams, you'll glance back over your shoulder all the time to see if you're being set up, and somebody's going to come clean your clock from the blind side. So you always have to keep your head on a swivel, and that was a great shot of it right there of Lee Bodden looking back upfield.
There's some concern with injuries. Michael Lehan, a defensive back, is inactive today with an injury, and Bodden came up limping there. About half a yard short are the Eagles.
As he made the tackle, Sam, he tackled, he swung the ball carrier down onto his own leg.
Game going back to Philadelphia. And I know the McCloskey family is watching because Kevin McCloskey is our audio expert today, making all the sounds come out of the stadium. And Bob Goosley is our technical director. His family's watching back in Philadelphia. They were checking him out. They're grading him.
And the Moz family's back there watching.
Is that right? Oh,
heck yeah.
They never miss one of your games.
No, they never miss an Eagles game.
There's second down and half a yard for the Eagles, who have 2 tight ends in. Westbrook takes it, has the first down, and gets up to the 34-yard line. So the Eagles now have to play from behind.
First time all year. It's amazing, isn't it? And I'm not sure with this offense if this is the bunch of guys you want to get trailing in the game. With that man right there at the helm, and the things that he can piece together, with Donovan McNabb on the field at quarterback, and T.O. outside, L.J. Smith and Westbrook. I'm not sure if you want to fire these guys up too much.
Alvin McKinley, number 97, in the defensive tackle for the Browns. First down, Eagles. McNabb has time. Throws short. It's dropped. L.J. Smith, who's had a rough go the last few weeks. He had a shoulder problem, but it's a lot better now. They say he's 100%, but he should have caught that one. Let's go down to the sideline to Jay Glazer. Jay, what's happening?
Well, Sam, on the last possession, not this possession, Terrell Owens on the last play actually hurt his right thumb. He came off the field. He was jiggling it a lot, came to the sidelines, holding it. He tried to work it out for that entire Browns possession. He was just trying to work out whatever problem with that right thumb that he was having. He actually got up, caught some passes, thought it was okay, but he was clearly in some pain. They haven't thrown to him yet, but obviously he feels good enough to go back in.
3 wide receivers in, but Westbrook carries, bounced it outside, slips a couple of tackles, has a first down. Nice run by Brian Westbrook up to the 48. And as Bill mentioned earlier, with Andy Reid's philosophy with Brian Westbrook, keep feeding him the ball. He's going to break one eventually.
Yeah, and as I said, he's a guy that you kind of wonder how long can he hold up. And he's a guy, there's a lot of backs that have been in the league that Tiki Barber was one of those guys. And they didn't think he was big enough early on in his career to be the dominant back. And the fact of the matter is, if you're good enough, you're big enough. And Brian Westbrook is good enough.
From their own 48 on first down, McNabb wants to go deep. Way down for Freddie Mitchell. It's knocked down. The middle linebacker, Andre Davis, was covering on the play. And without seeing it, he knocked it down.
54. This turns out to look like a cover 3. When you get the matchup with 54, the middle linebacker, on a wide receiver, and that's what he's going to do. He's going to have to drop deep. He's running the full length of the field, and he's behind Freddie Mitchell. And he has a lot of ground to make up. he never has time to turn around, so he just keeps on sprinting and puts his hand up in the air and gets a piece of the ball.
And the pass obviously underthrown a little bit because Mitchell was behind Davis. 4 wide receivers. Quick outside. And Todd Pinkston turns it into a first down at the 41-yard line. The Eagles mix it up so well. 4th catch of the game for Pinkston. They can throw that quick out. They can throw short slant passes to the tight ends and then throw the deep passes to Pinkston or Owens. 11-yard pickup for the Eagles.
They can really put your defense on its heels, and that's a bad place for defense to play on its heels. The defense needs to play on its toes, going forward, coming at you. But the way the Eagles put you back on the heels, Sam, is just how you explained. They'll take the ball and spread it everywhere.
Westbrook behind Fraley, the center. Flag on the play. Westbrook out of bounds at the 37. It's going to be against the Eagles.
And actually, you know, this is a good... I bet you Andy's probably concerned a little bit.
Holding. Number 69. Offense. The 10-yard penalty remains first down.
John Runyon, the right tackle, called for the hold.
Oh, hell, I don't think John Runyon even starts to play until he gets a flag thrown on him. I don't think he gets his blood at the proper temperature it needs to be played that he likes to play the game at until he gets a flag. But, you know, Andy Reid may be concerned a little bit about this game and they're in a battle, but I guarantee you, deep down inside, he loves the adversity that his team's facing right now. Because that's got to be your biggest question as a coach. When you've led all the time and you're always in the front, you kind of want a little adversity to see how your team responds to it.
A discussion on the far side. Tom White and Butch Davis. All spotted at the Eagles 49. It's first down. They have to get to the Browns 31 for a first down. World Series Game 2 tonight, 7:30 Eastern Time. Red Sox leading the series 1-0.
Unbelievable baseball postseason.
3 wide receivers for the Eagles. Freddie Mitchell is in as the third. McNabb, short drop. His man fell down. Westbrook coming out of the backfield, fell down and couldn't get up in time.
Yes, he did. He did slip down a little bit, Sam, and I have to say that he had the linebacker slip out there as well.
That's Kevin Bentley.
Yeah. I like Kevin Bentley, the way he plays. He comes in, he's their nickel linebacker, and he comes in passing situations, and they have 3 receivers on the field.
Here's 2nd and 20. Josh Perry is in. Right now he's a wingback to the right side.
Regular personnel for Philadelphia on the field.
McNabb waits. Screen pass to Westbrook. Blocked by Artis Hicks. Westbrook down to the 44-yard line. And out of bounds at the 43. Robert Griffith chased him out. It'll bring up 3rd and long for the Eagles. Detroit giving the Giants a lot of trouble in New York. Kansas City having a huge day against Atlanta. Chiefs looking for their 2nd win of the season.
They're tough at home, boy.
Big play here. Brown alive, urging on the Browns defense. Eagles have to get to the 31. The play fake. McNabb going deep. Way down for Pinkston. He was bumped. No, incidental contact. It's incomplete.
Now, Philly fans are going to be livid over that, but that's the rules and that's the way they're written. When both players are looking up to the ball and their feet entangle, that's what it is. It's incidental contact.
Robert Griffith was covering on the play, the safety. The throw too long. Todd Pinkston. 3rd punt of the game for Dirk Johnson. Good high punt. Northcutt lets it drop at the 5. The Eagles have it surrounded, and they down it at the 4-yard line.
That's big time. That's a big time punt. and it's a big-time break that the Eagles needed.
39-yard punt. Good hang time by Dirk Johnson. Allows the coverage players to get down. J.R. Reed led the way.
If you do your best thinking in the shower, imagine how smart you'll get under the new shower heads at Holiday Inn Express.
These awards for economics, physics, chemistry, literature, and medicine are heavy, huh?
Roll program confirmed.
Houston, problem solved.
Winner is Time Machine.
Did you go to MIT?
No, but I did stay at a Holiday Inn Express last night.
Is that Abe Lincoln?
That's it. You're going back.
Stay smart. Stay at a Holiday Inn Express.
Dude, Singular's got this great deal. 1,000 nationwide anytime minutes plus rollover for only $39.99.
Wow.
But you gotta hurry.
I'm on it.
Hey, how do I get out of here?
Get Singular's best value ever. 1,000 nationwide anytime minutes with rollover for just $39.99. And get a great deal on this new Motorola camera phone.
I call it my get it while you can plan.
Our best value ever, only from Singular Wireless.
Bud Light, sweet.
I can't believe Gina let you come to the game.
Gina doesn't even know that I'm here. I hired a body double, you know, like the ones they use in the movies.
So he looks just like you?
Gina, all of this yard work is making me so sweaty.
Well, then you better go wash up. Jim.
Fresh, smooth, real Bud Light.
You were real tired this afternoon.
Was I? It's all here.
Helping out in the community is what matters to the NFL and the United Way. Get involved in your community. It's what matters.
Fox NFL Sunday is brought to you by Budweiser. Enjoy a cold, fresh Budweiser because fresh beer tastes better.
Browns have had balance in their offense. Rushed for 141 yards, passed for 150. Start from the 4-yard line. Looks like the Eagles jumped off.
Huge hard count by Jeff Garcia. I jumped up here.
Encroachment, nose tackle. Defense, 5-yard penalty, remaining first down.
Come on, Tom. We need a number.
There we go. We got it here. Darwin Walker, number 97. First and 5, Lee Suggs. Not much. Good job up front by the Eagles, standing him up. Dolphins doing well against St. Louis, right, JB?
Hey, Sam, 12.5 minutes away in regulation from getting their first win of the season. Travis Minor doing the honors, 13-yard TD, 21-7 Miami, and again, 12.5 left in regulation. Back to Sam and Bill.
Thanks, JB. And the Rams up and down, sometimes good, other days bad. He Suggs in the backfield, takes the toss, couple of blockers, cuts it back, tries the other side, flag on the play, good tackle made by Lito Shepherd at the 7-yard line. Eagles defense, faced with a 1st and 5, has come up with 2 outstanding stops.
Holding, number 19, offense. That penalty is declined. 3rd down.
It's on Frisman Jackson, the wide receiver. And it'll bring up 3rd and 7 from the 7-yard line. Eagles bring in Keith Adams, 57, as a nickel linebacker, and Roderick Hood as a 5th defensive back, number 29. Browns with 3 wide receivers in. Aaron Shea went in motion. Garcia rolls and looks. Throws way out of bounds. Pressure on the play from Corey Simon, who gets up in the face of Garcia and has to be escorted away. Simon almost with a real dumb play.
It's Andy and I together declining any invitations to buffets. We've got that down, Sam. We just give it that little wave like that. No.
So a good defensive series for the Eagles. forces Derek Frost.
Huge
Third punt of the game.
It started with a Dirk Johnson punt.
Fair catch waved for by Reno Mahe. Takes it 46-yard line of the Browns. 39-yard punt. No return. Reno Mahe secures the ball. There is a flag down at the line of scrimmage.
Back to where they punted the ball. False start. Philadelphia might want to take that over.
Illegal formation. Number 51, the kicking team. Penalty is declined. Philadelphia take the result of the play. First down.
Well, when you're inside the 50, we showed you those numbers. Almost 60% opportunity to score either a field goal or a touchdown. But last possession, here's T.O. right here. Take a look at him. That was on the incomplete pass, and T.O. had the post corner route, and he was wide open in the corner. Couldn't believe he didn't get the ball thrown to him. Thrown to Pinkston on the post route.
Eagles come out with two tight ends. Owens brought back closer to the line as they start from the Browns 46. McNabb to Westbrook. Beats Andre Davis. Nice move. Davis finally hauls him down at the 39-yard line. 7-yard pickup.
I'm not sure how many players they had on. Do they have 11 out there, son?
Who's that? Cleveland?
No, the
Eagles?
Eagles, yeah. I'm not sure if I... 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10? Was that 10? Was that right?
3, 7. I thought no.
Did they have unless there was two tights up there, I didn't see him bunched in there.
Levens in the backfield. Cuts it back. Good run by Dorsey Levens. It's a first down. His first carry of the game. Brings it down to the 32-yard line. Andre Davis and Dalen McCutcheon combine on the tackle. Browns defense giving up 21 points all in the first half. Done a good job on third downs.
Well, that's where their defense has improved.
But the Eagles' passing game has been good. McNabb over 300 yards, third time this season, 8th time in his career. First down at the Browns, 32. Play fake, McNabb.
There it is.
Open man, Freddie Mitchell inside the 10, dives across the 5-yard line.
Now, first of all, Sam, as I said from the beginning, Donovan McNabb will have 500 yards today if you don't get pressure on him. And over 300 right now. Well, he sits in the pocket like I would sit in my lazy boy chair. There is nothing around him whatsoever. He's waits, comfortable. There's nothing around him. There's no threat at all. He could have sat in there another 2 seconds without moving.
28-yard pickup, first and goal, Eagles at the 4. Dorsey Levens and Josh Perry in the backfield. Power backs. Mitchell in motion. McNabb rolling and looking, being pressured, throws it away. Pressure from Ebenezer Ekuban. Third quarter has come to an end. First quarter this season ends with the Eagles losing. First time that they're trailing at the end of a quarter this season. However, they're threatening to regain the lead. End of 3. Browns 24, Eagles 21.
You're watching the NFL on Fox.
The Eagles in Ohio. Tolly's talking with the birds. Tonight, after the game.
Just imagine what you could do with a lifetime of checks. Introducing Lucky for Life, the great new game from the Pennsylvania Lottery. You could win $3,000 a month for life, $1 million guaranteed. Just check 6 numbers, check the drawings, and check it out. You could even win $10 instantly. With so many checks and so many possibilities, what would you do?
Think of it as an open-air roadster.
That for qualified buyers, plus our best factory and dealer incentives on 2004 Cadillac SRX V8 models.
Life is full of milestones. That's why Sovereign Bank offers milestone banking. So you can grow, achieve, and thrive. Sovereign Bank.
Sam Rosen, Bill Boss, Jake Glazer at Cleveland Browns Stadium. And this is something different for the Eagles. They're trailing late. They have won each of their first 5 games by 10 points or more. This is a tight one as we start the 4th quarter. Eagles with a 2nd and goal at the 4-yard line. 3 wide receivers in. Blitz coming. Dorsey Levin slipped one man. Fights his way to the 2-yard line before he's pushed back. The veteran Dorsey Levens picked up early in the season after injury to Terrell Buckhalter. Just adding veteran depth to the Eagle lineup. Ball spotted just inside the 3-yard line. 3rd and goal. 2 tight ends in. Westbrook in the backfield. Both wide receivers right. Owens and Pinkston. McNabb, shovel pass, touchdown! L.J. Smith. It is the 4th touchdown pass of the game for Donovan McNabb and the 100th of his career. And the Eagles have regained the lead. See the frustration on the part of the Browns defense. But it started with a good defensive series by the Eagles, which gave them good field position.
And a good punt before that by Dirk Johnson. They downed it inside the 5, and that got the whole thing rolling.
Akers for the extra point. The Eagles have a 4-point lead. 28-24. They've surpassed their output, their average output of the season. Little shovel pass, and L.J. Smith takes it in. And the Eagles lead again.
What a change.
Oh my goodness. I'm so happy for her. Look at this.
Introducing the redesigned 2005 Nissan Altima. You might call it an extreme makeover. We call it the 05 Altima. Now with 1,000 cash back or 2% financing, Altima's never been more attractive.
Beautiful.
1,000 cash or 2% at your Nissan dealer now.
Wouldn't it be great if you could pay off all those high-interest credit cards and get extra cash for you? Call AmeriQuest now. We help homeowners do just that by refinancing their mortgage. You'll get your own personal loan specialist who knows you're more than your credit score. Call 1-800-AmeriQuest now or go to AmeriQuest.com. AmeriQuest, the company that knows you are more.
That looks good.
Sure is.
You know, when I was a kid, I didn't get to choose what came in my kids' meal.
Why?
Well, it just came with fries. They didn't offer those juicy little mandarin oranges.
Why?
Well, that's just the way it was. Didn't get to pick between chocolate milk, white milk, or soft drink.
Maybe back then they didn't think you were capable of making an informed decision.
Point taken.
Wendy's Kids Meals, now with new choices that make everyone happy.
Fox NFL Sundays, brought to you by Nissan and your Nissan dealer. By AmeriQuest Mortgage, the company that knows you are more. By America Online. Want a better internet? You belong at America Online. And by Wendy's Kids Meals, now with delicious new choices.
Beautiful fall colors lead to great football on Sunday. Another great one coming up. Most of the country will see the Cowboys at the Packers. Seattle is at Arizona. New Orleans at Oakland. Coming up, second game of the NFL on Fox doubleheader. Last time Donovan McNabb played here, December of 2000, he also threw 4 touchdown passes. Akers kick taken by Frisman Jackson from the 3. And Jackson is taken down at the 23-yard line. The ball popped loose. The Eagles have it. Let's see the officials.
Was he down?
Talking about it.
Was he? Look at this. Somebody is absolutely out cold.
One of the Eagles players.
I mean, out cold.
That's Jason Short. Jason Short, the first-year linebacker who is the wedge breaker on kickoff coverage.
And there was a collision. I felt the collision up here.
Quinton Michael recovered the fumble. Right now, the entire Eagles bench is out on the field, concerned for their teammate.
Oh boy, Sam, I'm telling you, that collision was wow.
Jason Short is an all-out player. One of those guys that gives you everything he's got. He's a success story, a guy who played in the Arena Football League for Peoria a couple of years ago, played last year in NFL Europe, and now concern on everyone's part for his well-being.
Well, he's the wedge breaker, and he gets down in there, and I'll tell you, one thing you teach tacklers and special teams is to get your head across the bow, and that's getting your head across the body of the blocker when you're making a tackle. Because if you get your head behind it and just your shoulder on it, you'll just slide down his legs and he'll continue on. And that emphasis of getting your head across the bow, and I think that's where we're at here.
Andy Reid comes out, and the good news is Short is sitting up. And he's talking. Oh,
we're not sure what language.
Well, it doesn't matter. The bottom line is he is conscious. You see the concern on the part of the Browns as well.
They say that every week, Sam, they put on footage of him running down into that wedge.
And who he slams into.
Yeah.
He goes all out. Full Throttle is his nickname.
Full Throttle is his name. There's 52. Oh, there it is, right there. You can see
running
it,
by.
Yep. That head on the thigh of the player as it comes through, up and through.
Medical staff of the Eagles wanting to make sure that Jason Short is okay, knows where he is. He's going to be taken off on the cart. Short is conscious, seems to be bleeding a little bit, but getting quality attention from the medical staff.
Hello.
Hi. Hi.
Yeah, we're members, and we just had some ideas how to make the internet better.
Okay. Excuse me, there are some members here to see you.
Oh, great. Which ones?
Looks like all of them.
At America Online, when any one of our members has an idea to make the internet better, we listen.
We're gonna need some more chairs.
Yeah. Want a better internet? You belong at America Online.
On DVD Tuesday.
Here it comes.
Own Dawn of the Dead with terrifying new footage. It's scary as hell.
I don't want to die here.
Dawn of the Dead, unrated. On DVD Tuesday.
Yeah, having a little car trouble.
I'm State Farm agent Larry Bitterman, and this is a true story.
I was there on vacation, so I called the local State Farm agent.
We're not really sure how the car got into the lake.
Yeah, the map was a disappointment.
They called a local diver, and it turns out that's me too.
I think he started my plane before he even dried off.
We settled it the next day.
Where would I have been without him?
Sunk.
Any insurance company can promise you a good price, but nobody takes care of you like State Farm. We'd love to prove it to you. Call an agent today.
Like a good neighbor.
State Farm is there.
If you can't remember which full-size truck has the best-in-class interior space, best-in-class standard V8 power, and the best-in-class 4x4 towing capacity, remember the Titan. And don't forget $2,000 cash back or 1% financing at your Nissan dealer now. The full-size Nissan Titan. Unforgettable.
You talk about the little things in the game. There's Donovan McNabb over there giving his best. And look at, take a look at him. He doesn't stop going. Once all is well and everybody knows everything is safe, it's right back to the passion of the game.
The Eagles fumble recovery, third turnover of the game for the Browns. Dorsey Levens carries straight ahead inside the 15. So the Eagles with a chance to open up a sizable lead as the Browns turn it over. And that's the second fumble for the Browns on kickoff return. James Jackson fumbled once. Frisbin Jackson fumbles.
And you know what? Hey.
And they're missing Andre King, who was their return man to start the game.
And Jason Short doesn't want to come off the field. He has to in that circumstance. Knocked out, blood all over him. But I have to tell you, he may have been taken off the field, but he won in that instance.
Off the fake, McNabb, plenty of time. Coming open, the tight end, Chad Lewis, ridden down at the 15-yard line by Robert Griffith. But you know what, Bill? The one thing that bothered me, that they spotted at the 10-yard line, was that there was concern on the part of the Browns for him. When he got up, he was yelling at the Browns bench. I don't know if he needed to.
Sam, you got that picture there.
Yeah.
The Browns were taunting him.
Yeah?
Oh, yeah, you got knocked out. And they've watched this guy on film all week long. That's their #1 special teams kamikaze. And everybody wants a piece of the special teams kamikaze.
First and goal at the 10. Westbrook in trouble, thrown for a loss. Great penetration by Kennard Lang.
And the thing about it is, as I said, there was concern until they realized he was fine. And the second they realized he was fine, the passion of the game continues. There's an honor amongst special teams players, and they know who each other are on each and every team. They know them more so than the fans know their own team. They know who the special teams heroes are, and they go after each other with such ferocity. It's unbelievable.
Second and goal for the Eagles at the 12 after a loss of 2. L.J. Smith in at tight end. It's Westbrook, and they got him. Kennard Lang again. Back-to-back. Outstanding plays by Kennard Lang. 2 losses on successive plays. Eagles set back to the 15.
Sliding down the backside of the line of scrimmage. And in order for a backside defensive player to make a tackle down the line of scrimmage like that, the front side must be stacking it up. Because if it was open, the runner wouldn't be there.
Westbrook shaking up. Dorsey Levens replaces him. Third and goal from the 15. McNabb being rushed. And they got him first time. Ebenezer Ekibon. First sack of the game. Only the 10th time this season Donovan McNabb has been sacked. And he gets up, pounding the ball to the grass. Eagles lost 10 yards on 3 successive plays.
Well, they run a stunt over there on the other side, actually, with Alvin McKinley and also Ebenezer Ekibon, and they run a little Texas El Paso game with the tackle in the end, and they loop around, and one takes another one way.
David Akers from 38 yards, and it is right through. Akers having another outstanding season. He's 14 for 17. The Eagles were threatening to open up a double-digit lead. The Browns defense responded. Now they'll call on Jeff Garcia to try and get him back.
Wow. Do you know anybody here?
Yes, we're all partners at the firm.
Oh.
Rich. Actually, you look very firm to me.
But not smooth.
Hey, I can't believe I ran into you. Excuse us. There's some people you've got to meet.
Thank you.
Smooth.
Who are you?
The waiter.
But not rich.
Salmon Puff?
Michelob Amber Bach. Rich and smooth.
Surviving cancer is still the biggest victory of my life. And I did it with the help of 3 Bristol-Myers Squibb medicines.
Today, Bristol-Myers Squibb researchers are fighting our most serious diseases. Their life-saving medicines have turned many cancer patients into cancer survivors. Medicines for AIDS, heart disease, and serious mental illness reflect their commitment to research and to extending and enhancing human life.
I'm living proof of that. Hope, triumph, and the miracle of medicine. Bristol-Myers Squibb Company.
Thank you for ordering SBC Yahoo DSL. You have a good day, too. Okay. Thank you for calling SBC.
SBC, going beyond the call.
It's alive. The all-new Simpsons Treehouse of Horror.
Is dinner ready yet? This one keeps eating himself.
Sunday, November 7th, only on Fox.
Fox NFL Sunday is brought to you by SBC, going beyond the call.
Special teams coordinator for the Browns, Jerry Rosburg, very nervous right now. They fumbled 2 of the last 3 kickoff returns. James Jackson one, Frisman Jackson the other. David Akers kicks off. And it's James Jackson from the 6. He's tripped up and a flag on the play. Jackson went down at the 26-yard line. Keith Adams made the tackle on special teams for the Eagles.
Well, see him over there? See, that's what I'm talking about. That's the special teams guys. And they know each other and they taunt each other. And when you're the special teams kamikazes, when you go down there, you're either making plays, and if you get knocked out, boy, now the other team has the upper hand. Now they've got
59 during the return, 10-yard penalty, first down.
Because the kamikazes are always looking to knock you out. When you knock out the kamikaze, that's when you talk junk.
Kevin Bentley called for the hold. Browns start from the 12-yard line, down by 7. 2 tight ends in. Northcutt in motion. William Green, the running back. Green takes it outside. Knocked out of bounds at about the 15-yard line. Let's go to the sideline to Jay Glazer. Jay?
Sam, I'm standing right here by Brian Westbrook. When the team trainers took his shoulder pads and jersey off, they're trying to figure out right now, he's having some problems. They've been working on his chest area, his upper back, his shoulder, and I think right now they're just trying to figure out what's wrong with him. He's clearly in a lot of discomfort right now, and I'll get more word to you when the Eagles give it to me.
He was slammed down by Ebenezer Ekubon right on top of by Kennard Lang, right on top of the ball. I don't know if that affected him at all. From the 15 on 2nd and 7. Garcia runs out of the pocket and is tripped up and goes down at the 24-yard line. He's got a first down. Dhani Jones got a piece of him, but Garcia gets enough for the first down. Garcia, who will move out of that pocket many times just to pass, that time took off with room to run. From the 24, 2 tight ends in. William Green carrying. And maybe a yard on the play. Corey Simon made the stop. Eagles defensive line doing a better job against the run here, Bill?
Yeah, they have been, but you know the thing about it is I haven't seen much of 42, Terrell Smith. And, I thought that, they did come out in the second half and they passed a little bit more. But 42 is a guy that you need to stick with. He gives the attitude to this team. Heck, that's the reason they brought him in here.
Tight end Aaron Shea wide right, over the middle. And the completion of Frisman Jackson to the 31-yard line.
And there's plenty of time left still in the game, 8:48, and you need a touchdown. But I don't think you stop pounding. You came in. I think right now Cleveland's pressing because they've taken 42 out of the mix and they're not staying with the run. But one thing they did in the whole first half, even if they trailed, was they stuck with the run. They stayed there. They kept going to it, and they kept pounding you, letting you know they're going to come. And when you have 42 in the game, I'm telling you, folks, he adds a different element to the running game.
3 wide receivers in on 3rd and 2.5. Garcia rolling, looking, flag on the play. He's got enough for the first down, but now we check out the flag. Garcia gets up to the 41-yard line. The flag is back at the 26, and there's an Eagle down on the far sideline. It's Sheldon Brown, the cornerback.
Holding, number 72, offense, 10-yard penalty, remains 3rd down.
That could be a killer penalty taken by Ryan Tucker, the right tackle. Now for the Eagles, Sheldon Brown hurt on the play. Eagles concerned for Sheldon Brown. We'll be right back.
What a change!
Oh my goodness! I'm so happy for her. Look at this!
Introducing the redesigned 2005 Nissan Altima. You might call it an extreme makeover. We call it the 05 Altima. Now with 1,000 cash back or 2% financing, Altima's never been more attractive.
Beautiful.
1,000 cash or 2% at your Nissan dealer now.
Once in a generation, a new show comes along that's so captivating, its premiere becomes a television event. This year, that show is House.
10 million in one shot. Thought that's what we dealt with here.
The Washington Post declares House is the best hospital show since the debut of ER.
I'm stopping the treatment.
You're risking a patient's life.
House, the series premiere, Tuesday, November 16th on Fox.
Never underestimate a parent's ability to mortify his child.
The television phenomenon is back.
Oh my God, the yard guy?
On a brand new night.
Will you give me a copy of this document? That's the lunch menu.
The OC season premiere, Thursday, November 4th on Fox.
Sheldon Brown ran off the field under his own power, has to come out for at least one play. Matt Ware, rookie out of UCLA, who played his first NFL game last week, comes in at cornerback. 3 wide receivers for the Browns. Have to get to the 34 for a first down. Garcia scrambling, throwing, and completes it to Frisman Jackson. First down, Cleveland at the 45.
Did Lito Shepherd slip on that?
I didn't see that. Now you see Darwin Walker holding his right leg.
Well, he hurt his calf earlier this week in practice. Take a look at Lito Shepherd. They just get lost in coverage on the count, Sam. They're in zone defense, and they drifted out. They got lost on the count to that side, and that shouldn't happen with only 2 receivers to one side.
Walker limping off.
He's had a calf problem. He injured this week in practice. He was out here before the game warming up, trying to get it loose, and felt okay. Might have got a kick or something on that last play.
Frisman Jackson in his first game of the season after being brought up from the practice squad with 2 catches in the game. Sheldon Brown is back on at right cornerback for the Eagles. Sam Rayburn has moved into Darwin Walker's spot.
Boy, the
defensive tackle.
Sam, the Eagles had the Browns right where they wanted. They could have ended this thing right there. They got the penalty. They had them backed up. They could have been forcing a punt. Got lackadaisical.
Browns are 7 for 11 on 3rd down. On 1st down, the bomb thrown. A flag on the play on Lito Shepherd. Pass intended for Dennis Northcutt. Let's see. Was it against Northcutt? Shepherd was yelling at him, pointing in the other direction. Let's see what the call is. It's going to be against Dennis Northcutt. Offensive pass interference.
Pass interference. Number 86, offense. It's a 10-yard penalty. Remain first down.
Oh, yeah. Little grab on the arm.
Good call. Well, hey, take it as you call it, as you see it. You know, that was there, but I got to tell you, too, that Lito Sheppard had his arm bar out and was trying to push against Dennis Northcutt. And if that arm bar's out, you're trying to clear that arm bar to get by. The arm bar was clearly out. There's no question about it. And that's what Butch is arguing about. But what the official saw on that side was the pull to get past the arm bar.
It's 1st and 20 from the 35. Garcia quick outside of Lee Suggs. And right there to make the play is Nate Wayne.
Big play. Big play for Nate Wayne, because when you're taking the linebacker and you're widening him out on a slot receiver, and him being able to shake the block and get underneath that's big.
We welcome those of you who've been watching other games. Sam Rosen, Bill Moss, Jay Glazer in Cleveland, where the Browns have a 2nd and long at their own 35, trailing the Eagles 31-24. Jeff Garcia to Lee Suggs, hit hard, brought the ball, it's incomplete. Incompleted pass.
Jeremiah Trotter.
What a hit by the middle linebacker.
The axe man. You see him come up with the axe? Anytime Jeremiah Trotter gets a big hit or big tackle, he comes up with the axe swing. That's how he used to train to get ready for college football in the offseason.
Wielding an axe?
You know, we used to chop wood on his farm.
Big hit. Brings up 3rd and long.
You see the hit, there's the axe. He swings it.
3rd and 20, have to get to the Eagles 45 for 1st down. Browns led 24-21. The Eagles answered back with a touchdown and a field goal. Garcia waiting, being chased by Corey Simon, now by Sam Rayburn. And was he out of bounds when he threw? He was very close to the sideline. The pass is incomplete.
Browns had some opportunities, and the penalties have shot him in the foot.
Rayburn almost got him. Ooh. Just was inbounds when he let it go, but nobody open, and he threw it away. So now Derek Frost back to punt. Fourth punt of the game for Derek Frost. Good high kick. Reno Mahe takes a look, waits for a fair catch on the 18-yard line. 47-yard punt, no return. Eagles go on offense from their own 18. We welcome you to Cleveland. Sam Rosen, Bill Moss, Jay Glazer, where the Cleveland Browns have run the ball well. Donovan McNabb has passed the ball well, and the Eagles, who are trying for their 6th consecutive win and 9th consecutive road win, lead at 31-24.
And that's how Cleveland stayed in the game. And for the first time in a game, Philadelphia found themselves trailing in the 3rd quarter, Sam. But Cleveland has gotten away from the run.
Off the play fake, McNabb waiting, looking, and throws off the hands of Terrell Owens and out of bounds. Terrell Owens has 3 catches in the game, 2 for touchdowns, 97 yards. He has not caught a pass in the 2nd half. Donovan McNabb has passed for 4 touchdowns, tying a career high. He had 4 earlier in the game this season against the Giants, and he had 4 against the Browns here in Cleveland 4 years ago, the last time these 2 teams met.
And had 1 personal foul to that, too. 1 penalty. Okay. 1 15-yarder to T.O.'s numbers right there. That was on the celebration after a touchdown.
Ripped the sign off the wall. McNabb's pass is caught by Todd Kingston, and he's pushed back. They'll give him forward progress to the 21-yard line, his 5th catch of the game.
And in an effort to catch the audience up about real quickly what's transpired in this game, we've left out the fact that how critical of a possession this is for the Cleveland Browns. They have got to get the ball back now to give themselves an opportunity, a comfortable opportunity to work the offense and work what they do best and move the ball downfield.
And the crowd urging on the defense. Brian Westbrook was shaken up on the last possession. He's on the sideline.
Bunch package right here.
On third down, everybody out. McNabb looking, throwing off the hands of Chad Lewis, the tight end. He was covered by the middle linebacker, Andre Davis. The Browns come up with a big defensive stand. The Eagles maintain a 7-point lead, but now will have to punt. We welcome those of you who were watching the Tampa Bay Buccaneers and the Chicago Bears, with the Bucs winning at 19-7. Here in Cleveland, the Eagles lead the Browns 31-24. Kirk Johnson punt taken by Dennis Northcutt. He's got a good return across the 45-yard line. For those of you just joining us, we'll catch you up on the touchdown scored in the game. The Eagles scored early, 43 seconds into the game. Chad Lewis taking the pass from McNabb. Then it was McNabb going up top to Terrell Owens. That made it 14-7. Owens touchdown reception made it 21-7. McNabb shovel pass to L.J. Smith. And that regained the lead for the Eagles after they fell behind 24-21 early in the fourth quarter. They got the touchdown and then a field goal from David Akers. Now the Browns. Garcia handing off to Lee Suggs. Finds an opening. Gets across midfield to the Eagles' 49-yard line. Jeremiah Trotter tripped him up.
And Sam, and now they can come back to 42. Terrell Smith. Watch 42. His job in life is to blow up linebackers, and he loves to get underneath them. And the running backs know to follow him. He's a guy, look at him. He's on the sidelines, can't wait to get it. He's sniffing the ammonia capsules. Now, the only thing about that is when you sniff an ammonia capsule, you will cough, gag, and your eyes will water.
Suggs, again, nothing there. This time the Eagles have done a good job shutting down the running game in the second half. Stop Lee Suggs. Hollis Thomas made the tackle.
Well, they also came back out and have been passing the ball a little bit more because they knew at halftime, Sam, after giving up 123 yards, that Philadelphia was going to hunker down on that run defense, and they concentrated on that. And the Browns made the natural move. They came out and started throwing the ball, catching Philly a little bit off guard. But now they're on even kilters. Now everything is washed out, and it's an even playing field, and they have time on their possession and in their favor to get a first down here to work their magic.
3 wide receivers in. Garcia throws, completes to the tight end, Aaron Shea. First down, but a flag on the play. Shea gets down to the Eagles' 36-yard line where Dhani Jones took him down. But check out the flag. Look at that score. Kansas City 56, Atlanta 10. Tom White is our referee. Browns head coach Butch Davis trying to get Tom White's
Tom,
attention.
it's on them. And I'm sure Andy's on the other sideline yelling, Tom, it's on the Browns.
No offensive pass interference in this play. No penalty.
Okay.
First down.
They made the call after good lengthy discussion.
And for the Browns, it's been a lot about tight ends today. Hayden and Shea have been absolutely outstanding, and they've had to be because they've been the mainstay in this offense. Since Kellen Winslow's departure, the focal point has really been them. Because at the wide receiver position, they've had some losses. Quincy Morgan was traded this week. Andre Davis is down. Dennis Northcutt becomes the starter, and Antonio Bryant's in the mix, and he doesn't even know plays.
On first down, Garcia in trouble. They sack him. Second sack of the game, make it 3 sacks in the game for the team leading the league, the Philadelphia Eagles. They were tied with Atlanta coming into play today with 20.
Well, what happens here is they come with a blitz. That's what it's about. The linebackers come. Dhani Jones comes. On the other side, it's Nate Wayne. And when you're bringing 6 and you got 5 in there blocking, you're trying to get your receivers out, eventually the pocket's going to collapse. But the key to that is coverage, and the coverage was there.
Derek Burgess got there as well. In motion, Prisman Jackson. Garcia throws and almost picked off as he threw it wide of the tight end, Steve Hayden.
I got out of the way.
You know, right now in the second half, I have to tell you that once Cleveland came out throwing, Sam, Philadelphia's secondary has settled down, and the receivers are not getting open for the Cleveland Browns. And the pocket is not moving. And for Jeff Garcia to be at his best, he has to get out of the pocket, or they have to move the pocket. Whether it be bootlegs, naked bootlegs, rolls, whatever the case may be, to give him a chance, he's got to be on the run.
They have to get to the 26 for a first down. Garcia rush, gets rid of it to Aaron Shea. Slips one man, gets down to the 32-yard line. The Browns have had 2 rushing touchdowns in the game. One by William Green. That tied the game at 7 at the time. And one by Lee Suggs. And that cut the Eagles lead to 21-17 at the time. Garcia found Steve Hyden for a touchdown. And gave the Browns the lead. And Butch Davis says go for it on 4th down.
No chance for the field goal because 6 points isn't going to help them.
4th and 6. Blitz coming. Here they come. Thrown up in the air and incomplete. Intended for Aaron Shea, wants a flag, and there are no flags on the play. Eagles take over.
There's a flag?
Oh, there's a flag in the backfield.
On Brian Dawkins, roughing the passer, absolutely.
Oh, wow.
Brian Dawkins came on the blitz, Sam, and he was in the backfield so fast.
Roughing the passer. Number 20, jumped in the air and lunges the quarterback. 16-yard, first down.
Here's Dawk. He's up top. Garcia gets the ball off, and they come down at, I don't know. Hey, he just left his feet and came down. I mean,
you know what?
It wasn't head-to-head. It wasn't hands-to-head.
There was one man pushing him into the other, and they made contact.
I think it was more like an Academy Award on Garcia.
Nevertheless, the penalty stands, and the Eagles have taken a lot of penalties in the game. Ball at the 17-yard line with Suggs and Smith in the backfield. It's Lee Suggs. There's no hole. And he's brought down by Jeremiah Trotter. Good tackle by the middle linebacker.
And there's only one place this Browns team can put the ball, Sam. There's no doubt about it. With the clock and the situation the way it is, they're going to have a 2-minute warning coming up right here. They need to get in the end zone.
Looking for the tying touchdown. We've reached the 2-minute warning. The Eagles have taken 9 penalties in the game. The last one may be very costly.
Fox NFL Sunday is brought to you by Sprint PCS Picture Mail. It's easy for football fans to shoot, send, and share football moments.
You guys on the road a lot? Yeah. Send your wives pictures with Sprint PCS Vision Picture phones. Show them you're working hard. Show them your pretty face. Show them that prize bull. Check it out.
More people use Sprint PCS Vision Picture phones than any other to easily share unlimited pictures. Now at Sprint stores, buy one starting at $29.99.
Just point and shoot.
We know how to do that.
Sprint PCS. Now that's better.
No. Yes, I'd like to redeem my credit card miles. Flight to Denver.
No.
LA?
No.
Fresno?
Where?
Fresno?
I'll fly out Wednesday. That's gonna be a no.
Thursday?
All blacked out.
I'll take the red eye.
No.
No.
No. How about Friday?
Sure.
No.
Go from no to no hassle with Capital One No Hassle Rewards. Fly any airline anytime with no blackout dates. Capital One No Hassle Rewards.
I'm calling Capital One.
No. Oh, no. Hey, what's in your wallet?
If you can't remember which full-size truck has the best-in-class interior space, best-in-class standard V8 power, and the best-in-class 4x4 towing capacity, remember the Titan. And don't forget $2,000 cash back or 1% financing at your Nissan dealer now. The full-size Nissan Titan. Unforgettable.
Jeff Garcia, 17 for 28, 204 yards, 1 touchdown, 1 interception. Butch Davis's team in position to get that tying touchdown.
You couldn't ask to be in a better position. The way they've played the game and the changes they've made, and everything they've done to keep themselves within striking distance of pulling it off is all coming to a head right here with 2 minutes left.
2nd and 11. 2 tight ends in. Suggs the lone setback. Here comes the blitz. Garcia gets rid of it and completes Takes it to Northcutt. Inside the 10 and down close to the first down line near the 7.
It's what we talk about when we talked about Jeff Garcia. Buying time. It's when he's best. The blitz is on. Everybody's rushing right into his face, and he drops back to give the receiver time to clear. Everybody's coming right into his lap. All-out blitz. He rolls to buy himself time and the receiver time to clear. Throws a perfect ball off of 1 foot.
First and goal for the Browns, and Jeff Garcia uses a timeout. They still have 2 remaining. Cleveland Browns 3-3, 3-0 at home. Trying to mount this comeback and get it tied. Second game coming up. Most of you will see the Dallas Cowboys at Green Bay. Some will see Seattle at Arizona. Others will see New Orleans at Oakland. And then tonight, 7:30 Eastern Time, the St. Louis Cardinals and the Boston Red Sox, Game 2 of the World Series at Fenway Park in Boston. Curt Schilling and Matt Morris, the starting pitchers. Andy Reid and Jim Johnson, his defensive coordinator, talk things over.
Well, you know, the thing about it is Jim Johnson loves to come after the quarterback inside the red zone, as he did there. But Andy's concern possibly has to be that when you do blitz Jeff Garcia, if he gets outside of it, that's what happens, is that strike he made, just like the strike there for the first down.
Terrell Smith is out as a wingback for the right on first and goal. The fake by Garcia. He rolls, he looks, he's going to run. 5, dives to the 1-yard line. All week long, Andy Reid reminded his team of how much Jeff Garcia could hurt them. He did last year as a member of the 49ers.
And he speaks with him with such high respect and high regard. And he talks about this guy and how dangerous he is outside the pocket. He is more accurate in his career outside the pocket than he is in the pocket. And early on into the Cleveland Browns, they only used him as a drop-back quarterback. It's just as of late, he's been on the run.
6 defensive linemen for the Eagles. Second and goal. William Green is thrown for a loss. Hollis Thomas with terrific penetration drops William Green at the 4-yard line. A loss of 3.
William Green has to follow 42. And that's the one thing, you know, 42 always tells him, hey, you've got to follow me. William Green leaves his fullback and cuts it back up inside, and that's where the problem occurs. He's got to stay outside and follow 42. 42 would have taken him to the end zone.
But let's give a lot of credit to Hollis Thomas on that play.
He got some push, there's no question. Well, heck, you get down in goal line situations, Sam, you have 6 defensive linemen down in there. So it's mano-a-mano across the line of scrimmage. It's one-on-ones with everybody. Somebody's going to spring free and get the push inside a gap. And that time it was Hollis Thomas with the penetration.
Browns have 2 plays to get it in with 36 seconds and 1 timeout remaining. Suggs and Smith in the backfield now for Cleveland.
And that's why they went with Suggs, because Suggs, if they have to run it, will stay behind 42.
Hiding a tight left end. 3rd and goal. Garcia running to the goal line. He's in. Touchdown. Brian Dawkins could not deny Jeff Garcia his 2nd rushing touchdown of the season. And now the Browns need an extra point to tie this game.
Boy, how big was that penalty, Sam, on roughing the passer?
Oh, huge. Dawson ties it up. Eagles still have 3 timeouts remaining. They will get the ball. Garcia leads his team 11 plays, 54 yards, and finishes it off head-to-head against Brian Dawkins. Man, he's not a big man, but he gave up his body for that one.
He's been doing that a long time, Sam. The guy just has a passion within him to play the game and compete. At the best, he gets more out of his body than a lot of guys get out of their body that are enormously talented individuals.
Browns brought him in, signed him in March after he was released by the 49ers to stabilize their quarterback situation and get a guy who could make plays. And he has indeed made plays. So is this man, Donovan McNabb. And he will try to make some plays and see if he can get his team down into position to score in the final seconds of regulation time. Donovan's dad standing, arms folded. There he is.
Mom
is there. They're celebrating their 33rd wedding anniversary. T.O., who has not caught a pass in the second half. 3 in the first half, 2 for touchdowns. Dawson to kick off. J.R. Reed, a dangerous return man with good speed, the rookie. Dawson lets it go. Reed from the 5. Slips one man, trying to get outside. Browns chasing, big hit. Reed out of bounds at the 23-yard line. Mason Unk was involved. Lee Bodden, the man leading the way for the Browns, took him out.
Well, on this blitz, it was 4th down, I'm sorry, and they had dropped the ball outside. There wasn't enough room. They had roughing the passer, and that gave them the first down 15-yard penalty. And after that, it was Garcia who put it in on the play roll. You see that collision to his helmet? Jeff Garcia got racked on that play. He was over on the sidelines with a handful of smelling salts trying to get revived a little bit.
Brian Westbrook remains out. He was hurt, seemed to be a chest injury earlier in the 4th quarter. Dorsey Levens in the backfield. 3 wide receivers for the Eagles. 21 seconds to go, regulation time. McNabb, plenty of time, lets it go. Terrell Owens, first down, out of bounds at the 36-yard line. Owens is over 100 yards receiving for the game. 4th consecutive game in which he's had at least 100 yards in receptions. 12-yard pickup. 13 seconds remaining. McNabb hit a couple of big ones earlier in the game to Todd Pinkston. 65 yards and a touchdown pass of 39 to Terrell Owens.
Philadelphia with all their timeouts. They've got to take a shot here and get out of bounds in order to try a field goal attempt or take a knee and just play for overtime.
McNabb pumps. Nobody open.
All the time in the world.
Running, looking, throwing, and incomplete. But that took a lot of time off the clock.
And a penalty down.
But nobody open.
Personal
late
foul.
hit. Yeah, roughing the passer.
Yeah.
Chad Lewis is slow to get up. Orpheus Roy is going to get called for the roughing the passer penalty. With 3 seconds remaining.
Foul. Roughing the passer, 98. 15 yards, first down.
Excuse me, it's Ebenezer Ekubon who is called on the penalty.
Well, this was after the play was over as well.
Oh, yeah. That gives him 15 yards, but there's not enough time except to take one shot. You got to take one shot to the end zone. 4 wide receivers in.
You know, that's kind of a precarious situation here, too, with one shot. Do you take one shot because you have a TO and jeopardize maybe an interception return for a touchdown, or do you just take a knee and play overtime?
Take the shot, which he's doing. Way up and all the way down. And up they go, and it falls incomplete. Todd Pinkston almost had it in his hands. He got his hands on the ball, but it dropped incomplete, and we're going to overtime. The 5-0 Eagles and the 3-3 Browns go to OT.
Pinkston was in the mix, and then Greg Lewis was there at the very end as well.
I think Anthony Henry gets a piece of this ball.
Sure does. Bat it down, Sam. Bat it down.
Pinkston came close. So now we'll go to overtime. Sudden death overtime. The Browns, both these teams have shown comeback ability in the game. Browns have put up 31 points in successive games now.
This would be the same as the timing in the fourth quarter of the regular ball game. You get 2 timeouts now. Everything else is like the fourth quarter. Any challenges will come from upstairs in the regular game. Just like in the last 2 minutes. This is tails. This is heads. Heads. Tails. You're the visiting team. What do you call? Tails. Tails are balls. Tails it is.
The Eagles win the toss. And they've elected to receive in overtime as they try to remain unbeaten.
You are now free to move about the country. I scream. You scream. Everybody's screaming for Fox season premiere Sunday.
Am I the only one who's in horrible pain?
You're the only one who won't shut up about it.
The Malcolm that will leave you breathless. The all-new Simpsons Treehouse of Horror. And Arrested Development, Emmy winner for Best Comedy.
You took away my mace.
The mace was to keep you safe, not a way to get past people on the escalator.
Season premiere Sunday starts with King of the Hill, November 7th on Fox.
To familiarize yourself with the overtime rules, take a look. The coin toss we've already had. 1 15-minute quarter or less. If someone scores, it's over. 2 timeouts per team, and all replays come from the booth. Jeff Garcia beat the Philadelphia Eagles in overtime in Philadelphia last season with the San Francisco 49ers. And he's found a way to bring his team back. They were down 11 points in the first half.
You know, Cleveland's been able to maintain a close game the whole entire game. Every time Philadelphia had the opportunity to pull away with it, Cleveland came up with something, a big defensive stand or an interception to get the ball back. And they've just kept it close until the third quarter. Then they came out and took the lead. And Philadelphia, for the first time all season, had to play from behind, had to face a little adversity. They're in some right now, but they're getting the ball here first, and they're hot. They are hot. And I think Andy Reid is actually enjoying the fact that his team is facing this kind of challenge. Because he said to his team last night, Sam, he told them, he said, hey, guys, look, don't be surprised when you walk out in there and you see their surroundings. Don't be surprised with what you're going to get. This is a hostile atmosphere, and these people, this team is going to come at you with everything they have.
Phil Dawson kicks it off to start overtime. J.R. Reed from the 3. Across the 25 and across, taken down at the 31-yard line. Big day of sports on Fox. Second game of the NFL doubleheader follows this one. And then game 2 of the World Series. Joe Buck, Tim McCarver, Al Leiter, Gene Zelasco, Kevin Kennedy, all in Boston. Get you ready at 7:30 Eastern time, and then it's the Red Sox and the Cardinals game 2. The Eagles start from the 30. Bernard Lang can't hear the crowd. He wants them loud. Dorsey Levens and Josh Perry in the backfield. McNabb quick to Pinkston. Gets 5 yards on the play. Dalen McCutcheon on the tackle. 6th catch of the game for Todd Pinkston. David Akers, who's kicked 1 field goal in the game, staying ready.
Sam, and Andy Reid's been playing a game within a game all day long with the receivers and the secondary of the Browns. And the Browns don't know whether to come up and jam and play man-to-man, or play off and play man-to-man, or play zone against them.
3 wide receivers in, but the ball handed to Dorsey Levens. Broke it back across the 40. First down, Eagles up at the 43-yard line. Good run by Dorsey Levens. Let's go to the sideline to Jay Glazer.
Well, Sam, the reason why Dorsey Levens is in, earlier to the game, you guys alluded to the fact that Brian Westbrook had come down on the ball, and in fact, he did. He has a chest injury. He was on the sidelines for a while, but then he got up and asked the team trainers to take him into the locker room, and obviously he's done for the game. Back to you guys.
Thanks, Jay. Donovan McNabb, 26 for 39, 358 yards, 4 touchdown passes.
And for a guy who's 30% of the offense, that's advantage Cleveland.
Everybody out. McNabb in trouble. Gerard Warren's got him. The big defensive tackle with a second sack of the game for the Browns on Donovan McNabb.
Enormous play for Warren, Gerard Warren, who's been out for the last couple of weeks. He's been injured. He's been nicked up. Here he is, and he just doesn't stop working. He's on Artis Hicks, and he takes him inside. He works outside and just keeps on pursuit. Keeps his feet a chopping and works his way down the line of scrimmage and gets a hold of McNabb. The addition of him back in the lineup has really benefited the Cleveland Browns defense. Last week he was a little rusty. He's feeling up to par right now.
Loss of 4 on the play. Dorsey Levens gets it back with a good run across midfield. Levens, the veteran running back, running hard, takes it down to the 48-yard line. It'll bring up a 3rd and 2 for the Eagles. Earl Little made the tackle.
Well, he felt pretty good about that play, so what he's going to do, he's going to jump upfield this play. That's Gerard Warren. And watch what it does to the backside right here. That's his gap. You have to have run read first, and you've got to flow down the line of scrimmage. He got a sack on the last play because he came over the top. So he figures, well, I want another one. And he jumps upfield and goes out of his lane, and that's where the backside rush lane opens up for Philadelphia.
They've spotted the ball inside the 48-yard line, and it's about a yard short. So it'll be a 3rd and 1 for the Eagles.
And that was a total freelance right there. Run defense, everybody has a gap responsibility. And when the whole offensive line goes one way, your defensive line has to close down with it. He went the opposite direction. That's freelance.
And a nice job by Dorsey Levens stepping in for Brian Westbrook. 2 tight ends for the Eagles, with Levens and Parry in the backfield. The Browns have had some good defensive stands in this game. The fake. McNabb wants to go up top. He's going deep for Terrell Owens. And it's batted away by Anthony Henry. Henry with excellent coverage on T.O.
Well, first of all, Anthony Henry has some good size. He's about 6'1", 6'2", 210 pounds. And earlier in the game, he bid on this. And he was running with T.O. before and looking back. But right now, on this play, he has T.O. pinned up against the sidelines. He can feel him with his shoulder, and he can look back at the ball and still make a play on the ball. Earlier in the game, it was a little bit further off the sideline, Sam, and it ended up a touchdown by T.O.
5th punt of the game for Dirk Johnson. He has time. Gets it up in the air. Rochette lets it bounce at the 1, and it's missed by J.R. Reed. Goes into the end zone for the touchback. 48-yard punt, but it only nets 28 as the Browns will start from the 20-yard line. When this game is over, a second game on the NFL on Fox is going on. We'll send you to either Dallas at Green Bay, Seattle at Arizona, or New Orleans at Oakland. And then World Series game number 2 tonight here on Fox. Dallas and Green Bay 3-3 early first quarter. You saw New Orleans and Oakland no score. Arizona leading Seattle 7-0. New England and the New York Jets underway. New England leading, battle of 2 unbeatens. Now the Browns. Terrell Smith shifting. The play fake by Garcia. He throws and completes it to Frisman Jackson. Up at the 34-yard line. 3rd catch of the game for a man who's playing his first game of the season. Last week on the practice squad.
And you're right, Sam. They just brought him up from the practice squad due to the injury. Andre Davis and also Quincy Morgan out of the loop, and of course, Antonio Bryant not knowing all the plays yet, but on the move is where plays are going to come from this offense. On the move, on the rolls are where plays are going to come from Jeff Garcia.
On first down, short drop and a fake. Garcia goes deep. Flag on the play. The pass for Northcutt is overthrown. Well covered by Lito Shepherd. And let's see.
Well, I think what you're going to have here is a little bit of holding against the Philadelphia Eagles.
On the defense?
Yeah, the linebackers, I believe, got a piece of Shea or Hayden.
Holding, number 55. Defense, 5-yard penalty. That's a first down.
Automatic first down. At the 39, Dhani Jones called on the penalty. The Eagles' 10th penalty of the game. They came into the game with the 5th fewest penalties in the league. So now a first down for the Browns with William Green and Terrell Smith in the backfield. Steve Hayden motion, blitz coming. It's Green bouncing off of Smith and getting across the 40, pick up of about 2 on the play. Jeremiah Trotter leading the push for the Eagles defense.
Sam, when you take a look at the Cleveland Browns offense, it's led by the fullback, the running game, and he'll pound you number 42. So how do the Philadelphia Eagles counter? They bring their linebackers downhill at you almost in a fullback type of mentality. They come running full speed into the line of the scrimmage, anticipating the snap count to try to blow it up before the fullback ever gets there.
They split the tight end wide left. Garcia swings it out to William Green. Stumbled and then gets tripped up. Falls forward to the 44-yard line. It'll bring up a 3rd and 5. Javon Curse and Corey Simon chase down William Green. Upset with himself that he stumbled on the play. Thought he could turn it into a big gainer. Antonio Bryant comes on the field. Phil Dawson, who has kicked 1 field goal today and has a streak of 24 in a row going.
They've got to get the ball to about the 34, 35-yard line. And that's where he's 4 for 4 right now inside 49, 40 to 49 area. So they've got to get the ball to about the 34, 35.
On 3rd down, Garcia throws, and the tight end Aaron Shea is taken down short of a first down.
They won't go anywhere.
That's right.
First down.
Good tackles on the play. Dhani Jones leading the way for the Eagles.
Is Butch going to go?
No. Fans want him to go for it. I don't think so.
Where are they going to spot it?
They'll spot about a yard short. A little over a yard short. Well, they want to bring the chains in just to show the coach officially how far away it is. And we saw Andy Reid on 3rd and 1 go deep and then punt on 4th down in similar territory. Let's see what Butch Davis elects to do.
Well, if you get it, you win the game. If you lose it, you don't get it, you lose the game.
Well,
you know? Because I think that if from first down, if you get another 10 yards out of it, you're in Phil Dawson territory, and he's been perfect this year kicking field goals. Was he 14 of 14? Is that correct?
That is correct. Well, Butch Davis with a little over a yard to go for a first down, leaves his offense on the field on 4th down.
Yeah, if you make it, I think you win the game, and if you don't make it, I think you lose the game. But this isn't a bad area either, Sam, to take the clock down a little bit. It's not. You line up and hit your hard count.
Okay, and try and draw him off.
Yeah, Jeff Garcia got him earlier with a hard count. You know, in about the 3rd quarter, he hit him with a hard count. And then you run the clock down, take the timeout, and then get your punt team out there.
Suggs and Smith in the backfield.
But they're going.
2 tight ends.
There it is.
Timeout. Yeah, they tried the hard count. It didn't work. And now timeout is called by the Browns. They have 1 remaining in overtime. Eagles 5-0. The other 2 unbeaten teams are battling in New England. Patriots and the Jets. I think Andy Reid just alerting his players, be aware of a possible fake. 5th punt of the game for Derek Frost. That's Reno Mahe. He's not a big return guy, but he secures the ball well. Former collegiate receiver.
Well, I believe they got their punt safe out here too. This isn't the punt return unit. This is the defense out here.
Mahe's at his own 10. Frost plenty of time, gets away a good high punt. Reno Mahe waves, it bounces, and is down at about the 21-yard line by the Browns. 9:15 remaining in overtime. 31-yard punt, no return. Now the Eagles get their second try in the overtime session. What do you look for here, Bill? What do you think? Got to go with the passing game.
Yeah, Philadelphia, the thing about it is they're missing Westbrook.
Right.
And he, like I said, Sam, he's 30% of their offense. And he's a guy that Andy talks about. When you're talking about working on mismatches, without Westbrook in there, now you roll coverage to 81, and you can still man up on the other guys.
2 tight ends in. Levens went one way, sent the other way by McNabb. Short drop. Here comes pressure from Orpheus Roy. McNabb gets away. Big run for Donovan McNabb. Up near midfield. What a run by Donovan McNabb to the 49-yard line. A 28-yard run.
And, Sam, that's what you do. Because, as I said, Westbrook created the other matchup problem. Watch 81 over here. They're going to double coverage. They're going to roll coverage to him over here. Then watch the rest. Everybody else is manned up. Manned up here, manned up here, manned up here. 2 people up top there, so over T.O., so Donovan sees it and says, now I've got to resort back. I don't have the matchup problem with Bryant Westbrook gone. Now it's going to be on my legs. I'm going to be the other matchup problem on this defense.
Longest run of the game for the Eagles. Now the Eagles call a timeout.
I think that's because Donovan's winded. Look, he's sucking air there. It's been a long time since he's scrambled. And he has to now because he is the other matchup problem.
Yeah.
Westbrook, you can get him on a linebacker, you can get him on a safety, and now you have coverage problems. Same thing with T.O. You roll coverage to his side, someone else is going to pop loose. Without Westbrook, you take T.O. out of the picture, you can man up your other receivers, and now it becomes a McNabb game.
The Eagles have rushed for 111 yards. They have passed for 349. Reno Mahe has come into the backfield with Josh Perry.
Look at the rush attempts.
Yeah. Not running nearly as much as he used to. Through 5 games last season, 32 times. Coming into today.
That was his longest run of the year. That was his longest run of the year.
From midfield, first down Eagles out of the shotgun. Mahe's a good receiver. McNabb to Mahe, he's got it at the 45-yard line, just inside the 45.
Yeah, that's it. Reno Mahe is going to have to beat somebody because Reno Mahe is picking up for where Bryant Westbrook was. And you're going to get a linebacker or you're going to get a safety, and you've got to be able to beat those guys one-on-one. He comes out now, and Dorsey Levens comes back in.
Donovan McNabb has now hit 9 different receivers, make it 10 different receivers in the game. Here's Dorsey Levens to the 40-yard line, and he's got a first down. So the drive continues as they're getting close to David Akers territory.
And Andy Reid's changed his philosophy up a little bit. He's gone 2 tight ends, and he's not going to get the Reno Mahe matchup. He's not going to look for that. He's going to line up with 2 tight ends, and he's in the territory right now where this next set of downs here, this next 3 downs, whether he gets a first down or doesn't get a first down, you're going to be in field goal territory for Akers. He's going to line up and pound you right now.
2 tight ends, 2 wideouts, and Dorsey Levens in the backfield. McNabb checking off at the line. Blitz coming. Levens takes it outside. He's got 5, and a flag on the play. Holding is going to get called. Uh-oh. That hurts the Eagles again.
I think Chad Lewis on the outside there at the perimeter on the linebacker.
It was a good run on first down by Dorsey Levens.
Well, Dorsey Levens tried to take it.
Holding, number 89, offense, 10-yard penalty, remaining, first down.
Chad Lewis is going to be right in here. Wrong Lewis, that's Greg Lewis. Chad Lewis right there. You see that fistful of jersey he had.
So the Eagles are set back to midfield. Chad Lewis goes to the sideline. Reno Mahe has come back in. 5 defensive backs in for the Browns. 1st and 20 for the Eagles.
Out of field goal range now, Sam. That penalty right there could be critical.
Everybody out. Dumps it off to Reno Mahe. Gets a couple of blocks. And dives forward inside the 40 to the 38-yard line.
Hard running. That's hard running. That's effort. The screen was bobbled up. You know, it was kind of just all cluttered up in there. The timing wasn't great because they don't run the screen normally with Reno Mahe. He gets out there and gets up into the backs of those linemen really quick. And there's no time for that screen to open up and develop where he could use those linemen out in front of him. But still, he's got the ball back in manageable territory now where you pick up a few yards. And if you don't get a first, maybe risk Akers' field goal.
2nd and 8. Perry and Dorsey Levens back in the backfield. It's Levens. Again, he took it outside, gets down to the 31-yard line. And now they are in David Akers' territory. It's going to be 3rd and about 1.5 yards.
But do you see how quick the Philadelphia Eagles can change what their team is? For the most part of the game, when you had Westbrook in there and T.O. in there, it was about matchup. It was about pass protection. It was about Donovan McNabb sitting in the pocket all day with comfort and finding an open receiver in the matchups. And then when they need to, when they lose Westbrook and they create a problem, then they shift right over and become a power running team.
2 tight ends in, Reno Mahe in the backfield. Levens limped off a little bit. McNabb checking off. Timeout.
No, they didn't get it. That's delay a game. Did they get that time?
They got the timeout in. Tom White says timeout Eagles.
That clock hit 0 up there before they turned around with that tee.
Now that keeps on going. The timeout signal by the quarterback to the official may have preceded that final second ticking off.
Well, I thought I saw 0 up there, my man.
No, you may have. Yeah, you probably did. But the call on the field, the official had the timeout signal, and by the time he signaled it, the clock had hit 0. Right now, the Eagles with about 3rd and 1.5 yards. They are within range for David Akers.
Well,
Jeff Garcia can only stand and wait and hope that his Browns can get the ball back.
His long this year has been 51 yards.
And he was kicking them from a lot longer in pregame warm-ups. Reno Mahe in the backfield. 2 tight ends, and the fullback is a wingback to the right. McNabb wants to put it up. He does. For Pinkston. Oh, it's almost intercepted by McCutcheon. A dangerous pass thrown by Donovan McNabb. I didn't understand that call at all.
Well, it's a shot. And they probably felt pretty comfortable with what they have in David Akers to take this shot here. They had one-on-one on the backside with Pinkston. And if you remember, that's exactly how they opened the game. With a long pass to Pinkston like that, who you have a tendency to go kind of just fall asleep on with Pinkston on the other side. There's so much attention to T.O. and the other receivers on this offense, you forget about Pinkston.
50-yard attempt for David Akers. Browns use their final timeout to freeze him a little bit. The veteran has kicked at least 1 field goal in every game this season, including this one.
You know, that's a waste of a timeout to me. Because David Akers, he's not your average kicker now. You know? He's not frail of mind. He's not weak of mind up there. These things don't bother David Akers.
Jerry Rosberg, the special teams coordinator, is on the field. So is Butch Davis. If the kick is good, we will then send you to the second game of our NFL doubleheader. Dallas at Green Bay for most of you. Seattle at Arizona. New Orleans at Oakland. Dallas leading Green Bay 6-3. As the final scores come through from the corner of your screen. Here we go. Koy Detmer is the holder. Mike Bartram, the long snapper. Akers from 50 yards to win it for Philadelphia. It's on the way, and it is good. David Akers wins it. The Eagles remain undefeated. They win it in overtime, 34-31. A tremendous game. The Eagles remain unbeaten.
Check out Koy Detmer on this, the holder, Sam. The snap is a little off kilter, and Koy Detmer really saves this thing. Never ruffled the timing of David Akers. A lot of kickers would see that bobble, and it would mess up their timing. That's a lot of faith in your holder to keep your poise.
He's 15 for 18 on the season. The Eagles find a way to win. The field goal, 50 yards, wins it for Philadelphia. They're 6-0. It's the Browns' first